You say so. Here we go. We're live.
Oh shoot! I'm still putting my pants on.
Yeah. Get ready. That's live for all the viewers. So, hey, it's your show here. So I'm just gonna bring it up and let me see what I can.
Oh my god, I'm crying over that one. That was great. I just would like to thank everybody that was with me during that moment of putting my pants on. I appreciate every single one of you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Way to go, Minka. Appreciate you putting your clothes on, hopping up for the stream. So I think everybody, just in full transparency and candidness, I think there might have been a slight confusion on timing for this. So here we go. It's going to be maybe a little bit discombobulated, so I apologize for that. But here's Minka of the Gray Pill. Minka. Shout out to you. I have no flashy intro for you. I don't have your usual thing. Hold on. Maybe I can. Hold on. Maybe
you should. It should be off to the right.
All right. Hold on. Let me see what I can do here. Oh gosh, there's a lot of stuff. Hold on. Let me do this. So come back in a few minutes because we're going to start the countdown here.
Awesome. No countdown. There's no countdown. Are you waiting?
Well, hello, hello, hello. Bet you all didn't think you were going to see my face again so soon. But hey, I'm here. I'm helping out for a minute with the gray pill for a second while we get some of the time stuff organized. But we wanted to make sure that since the video was posted for 6 p.m. Central Time / 4 p.m. Pacific time, not specific, but Pacific time, we want to make sure that we kept to that, and there may be a little bit of a follow-on stream later, but we're going to put it out there for you now. So we'll just get up. We're probably going to ramble on a little bit, have a fun time. We're just going to roll with it. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to all of you Minka from the Gray Pill. Minka, let's bring you on up to the stage. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Wow. This is why I wanted to say forget it and let's just do it, because I really appreciate everybody that's in the chat just supporting this channel. It's been a great, crazy ass ride. So, do we want to talk about the topic, the crazy girl?
What I was going to say is maybe since I'm not super familiar with it and I was going to be more of a guest and like reacting to it, maybe a fun pivot would be to save that for later.
Let's do that.
And I, out of curiosity, and maybe the audience's curiosity, could get to learn a little bit more about you, how you and Angelus made the gray pill, what the desire to where you want to go with that, and kind of what that journey has been like to this point. Because what you guys have been working on this for 6 months, give or take now, would you say?
I'm really bad with time. I know it was sometime in December.
So yeah, we're May. So call it 6 months, right? So yeah. Okay, is that cool? Can I ask you that? Because I feel like selfishly, I'm just curious to hear the backstory. And
yeah, no, totally. So so here's the thing. I'm always an open book. Angelus is very protective and very like, how do I say this? He's always like, be careful of what you say because the trolls are going to get you. And like, he's absolutely right. But I kind of love the trolls too.
Yeah. Well, hey, my puppy wants to sneak out real quick. So let me let her out and then I'll hop back on here. Give me just a moment.
Okay. Should I just stay quiet, guys? No, I'm not just going to stay quiet. So I will say I actually started because I was first a guest.
Right. Sorry about that. They were pawing at the door. So
we started without you. It's fine.
Yeah, good stuff. Hey, let's do some shout outs. I see some of the usuals in the chat here. So Corey, appreciate you coming in. Hank, appreciate you being here. Daryl Long, I just saw you not that long ago, brother. Appreciate you coming in. I saw you on Harmony's channel dropping some knowledge, so appreciate you. Let's see, Cora, we got, and that's kind of the usual so far. So hey, I appreciate everybody popping in, coming to check out the Gray Pill podcast. This is the channel that's one of my favorites, and the reason it very much is. Mandrell popping in. Appreciate Mandrell as always. Unapologetic with Mandrell on every Wednesday night on Black Man Unfiltered
Great
Network.
Conversations.
Absolutely beautiful conversations. Check out this amazing content creator. He is a brilliant individual with many cool perspectives on things. He's been a lot of places. He's seen a lot of things. He's done a lot of things. A lot of knowledge that he can drop on you and speak. Look, it's almost like I've done this before. Black Man Unfiltered Network, where Mandrell often is posting his show at. Appreciate him coming in. Another great content creator. Lots of great just talks and discussions and conversations and on a wide variety of topics. And they just get into it. And it is so energetic and fun. Black Man Unfiltered has some of the best intros of bringing up his guest and panelist I've seen. He makes it so fun and funny, and I really appreciate it. So check out his content. And if you're, throughout this whole thing, if you're a content creator, please feel free to drop a link for your channel so that people can connect with you, because I'll try to shout out everybody, but I'm just one man. I'll probably miss somebody. So, work with me here. I'm just kind of helping out. But please drop your channel, drop your link. I want people to be able to find you and connect with you, because this whole space, at least from my perspective, is about meeting cool people, sharing good ideas, and having fun, right? And how better to do that than to collaborate or meet other content creators that maybe think of things a little bit differently and challenge you a little way. So much appreciated. Another one of those great content creators I see in here before the billion. Shout out to you, sir. You do a lot of just fire financial tech industry content. It's much appreciated. Keep making the content that you're making. Appreciate it. Jedi Mike, I see you in here as well, brother. I see you on a lot of the YouTube streams and then the YouTube streets. So I appreciate you being here. Yeah, just so many great people. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. Again, all the content creators, feel free to drop your info in the chat so that people can connect with you, because I just want people to expand and learn and get to be to the next level, right? So I know the topic posted, if you're just coming in, was going to be taken on kind of this Christian Toby situation, if you will. And we're going to save that for another one, because I know Angela's had some stuff prepped up for that. And, maybe he'll be hopping on a little bit and we can get back to that. But for now, I wanted to ask Minka, because I'm just jealously curious about, how did this journey start with you? Kind of why did it start? How's it been going? And what's to come? So Minka, rewind 6 months ago, you hadn't started the Gray Pill podcast. Were you doing something kind of on your own in the podcast space, or what was kind of going on with you at that time 6 months ago before you started talking to Angelus?
I need access so I can hit lead attorney long stroke for you.
That was a long stroke. I'm good at long stroke.
It's okay. I'm just messing with you. I'm terrible at this. Everywhere I go, I forget to even promote the Gray Pill. So it's I'm really short and sweet, because there's other stuff I like to say that I'd like to say. And if I'm a little neurotic today, it's because I've had a fever for the last week, and I'm just like, so this couldn't be better timing. Long story short, I was on Duke and Dawn. A girlfriend of mine, well, a friend, acquaintance, I don't know what she is. She asked me if I could go on there for her because she wasn't able to make it. And apparently she had committed, right? And we all know how that goes. And I had never even heard of it or been in the sphere or anything before. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. I'm always usually like, it's like a random thing. It's like a stranger says hi. I'm like, hello. So went on there.
Can I ask real quick, how did your friend know about Duke and Dawn? How were they invited on it? What was the connection there for them?
She had been on it already. So she's an Instagram girl.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's like, I know a lot of people that are like Instagram people.
Right. So like that's her thing, is she's kind of famous on Instagram and she gets gigs and promos and does that kind of stuff? Or what does it mean to be an Instagram girl to you when you throw that term out there?
Well, there's different kinds. That's the thing.
Okay.
There's like,
all right, let's unpack it. Yeah.
Listen, you got the sugar baby that uses it to like value herself higher with men. You've got the influencer that actually gets paid to go to parties and events promote different things. You've got the hobby person that really loves it, and like I know a girl that does it for like mental health, but it's usually like you're in the limelight and you got to be on your phone all the time, because I'm in digital marketing, so I am garbage when it comes to myself, like my own Instagram. I post every once in a while and I'm good for like a month, and then I drop off because I have to take care of my client stuff. But if you want to grow your social media platforms like Instagram, you have to constantly be on it, constantly post. It's just a lot of work. So
what camp did she kind of fall into? Of what was her version of Instagram girl?
I cannot say.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll read between the lines if you know what I'm saying there. I guess I'm going to speculate there, but hey, you know what? Use the tools of the world to your advantage to get what you want, I suppose, right? So your friend had been on Duke and Dawn. Mm-hmm. She couldn't make it to the episode that she had kind of committed to already for whatever reason. She reached out to you and said, hey, would you like to go in my place?
Right. So long story short, went on there, had a good time. And like, it was hilarious because you guys know me by now that like, I'm not a feminist. I'm a true feminist, which means that women should have a choice in what they want, as opposed to you can only be a housewife or you can only have a job. I hate the new wave that we have of women that are like making housewives feel like crap because they want to be housewives. You know what I mean? I don't like that. Or like, one of my friends always says, Thanks, man. One of my friends always says, "Oh, you wanted feminism, right?" And I was like, "Hell no, don't categorize me into those. Like, I don't want equality. I still want to be treated like a lady, but I work really hard, so I'm independent." Anyways,
And so
going on.
that episode of Duke and Don you went on, do you recall kind of what the subject was and what your
And that's
talking
what
points were? Yeah.
yeah, that's what we're kind of talking about because they were asking me certain questions and saying certain things, and then like I would answer it just like I do now. And they kind of used me as an example because they were like, "Oh, we've been trying to tell women this stuff for years and no woman actually admits it and blah 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 blah." And I'm like, it's kind of okay. Like I think one of the topics had to do with like what's a high value man. And I told them my description is not thank you. My description is not of the typical like pill community high value man making money 6 feet tall, blah 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 blah. It's what do you bring to the table? Meaning like, are you a partner? You and I have talked about it, right? Like
Yeah.
you're a great
What are
example.
your values? What do you believe in? Where are you going with your life? You know,
What's
what are you? What are you? Not just what job do you have or how much money do you have? It's what are you? What are
right.
you? Yeah.
So, but it's also a two-parter because what I explained was like I'm fiercely independent in the sense that I work my ass off, right? I'm like I have paint on my hands because I'm doing an Airbnb. I do digital marketing and then I've been working all week. Like it's a grind. And so what I'm looking for is someone to add value to my life, meaning either it's a partner in crime that's working just as hard and that we can help each other, or it's someone that they're making more and I'm going to have to make sacrifices so that we can have a stable home life, right? And that's typically like a lot of women want their cake and they want to eat it too is the not I don't want to say a lot of women, it's the narrative that's been playing on the radio and being promoted everywhere. It's you know what I mean? And it's like, no, you have to make some sort of sacrifices. So that means if I make meet a guy and he makes 100,000, we both make 100,000, right? That means we're going to have a nanny, we're going to have a house cleaner because it's kind of equal and we got to like make it work. But if I got a guy that's like making 250,000 and I'm making 100K, then even if I want to have a family and get married and all of those things with this man, we have to sit down and have that conversation. What is it going to look like? Am I going to need to like put things on the back burner for me? Like and that's the part where we were having that conversation and these guys, they were saying that they're blown away because women don't think that. And it's like, my issue with this whole community is that the majority of women that these guys that say that they're alphas, that say that they're this, like, tell men what to do and how to speak and how to get women and blah, blah, blah. Number one, they don't get women in real life. Number two, I'm going to just talk. I'm going to let it hang.
Just let it rip. Let it rip.
Like
I'm not even drinking scotch yet. I'm going to have to fix this soon. We're going in. Go.
We're going in. We're fine. I'm saying F it. Look, I'm so proper. I'm really trying to honor my husband, my YouTube husband, by being YouTube friendly. So and they say these things and it's like, oh my God, you're so dumb. Like you have not lived life. You have not experienced, because these same guys, when they meet the girl, they fall like a goddamn sucker. Oh my God, do they fall? Even like, and it's a part of life. That's men need women and women need men. There's no way about it. It's a delusion that people tell themselves so that they don't get hurt because they're so terrified of getting hurt like they did when they were younger, that they create this scenario in their head that it has to be X, Y, and Z in such a malicious manner, especially because of the way that Los Angeles and New York and Chicago and all these metropolitan cities are. It's just dumb, but I love watching these people fall in love because it's just, then they're the biggest simps in the entire world. And they usually pick really badly because they've been living their life really badly. So they get caught off guard. They're just like a girl. You know what I mean? Girl like falls in love with the cute, handsome guy and like gets cheated on and beaten on and all these things because she wasn't picking right. And these guys do the same thing. And like, so the issue that I have is that these guys know what they're doing. Master manipulators, like, freaking major narcissists. Everything is I'm this, I'm that. QB's making bets with everybody, but he never actually takes any bets. Fucking Ayunde is like always talking down to everybody like he's alpha, but he looks like he's like my height, like 5'1". Like, and now there's this whole thing of like what the LGB whatever thing that he's into, and like but he doesn't see how he can't call himself alpha when he's doing those very same things and goes against the morality of the whole cause. It's like, so these guys, what they do is they have girls like her go on the show, and her mentality is, I'm gonna get this bag, rail me from behind, blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I'm gonna go shopping. Look at my Louis bag. Like, we don't all know how you got your Louis bag. And then they showcase these particular women to make a sense of, this is how all women are. And that's
wait. You're saying not all women are a monolith?
Can you describe what a monolith is? I don't have my dictionary today. I'm smart, but I'm,
have you heard the term of like this group of people is a monolith a lot of times in some of these YouTube spaces? What? No. So a monolith is everybody's the same, right? So that'd be like saying all white men are the same, or all black men are the same, or all women are the same. Being a monolith,
it's like saying all white men belong to the Ku Klux Klan. There you go.
Yeah. But I was making a joke of, you said, like all women are this way or whatever. So that's when somebody talks about something being a monolith, that's what that is referring to.
Thank you for educating me. Monolith. Yeah. Monolith. I'm going to practice that. Mm-hmm. See, and so that's what I had an issue with. And so when I went and I was saying all of the things, it's always learning, man. If you're not learning, you suck. And so I went on there. Oh my God. And it was Poppy. We have Poppy to thank for this.
All right. So you're on Duke and Don's podcast. You're talking about how, people's perceptions of ladies out there in the world. And then Poppy comes in and starts talking as Poppy talk.
So check this out. So everybody was stoked that I was there because I speak eloquently. I'm not bad looking. And like,
unless they ask you what a monolith is, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
For the most part, I'm like, I think I'm pleasant, but I'm also educational. And I do speak about both sides. I'm not biased. I don't think that all men cheat, and I don't think all women are what can I call them? Monoliths?
Salutes? All women are salutes? Yeah.
Salutes. Flutes. We'll say flutes. But I see both sides to everything. I know many women that were single mothers and have had to endure. My mom was a single mom, and my dad cheated a lot. But like, I love my dad. He's such a G. Anyways,
Mika, just for a second, I love how many different little side roads we're traveling on this conversation.
Dude, it's so much fun.
Keep going.
Like, yeah. So I went on there, and like, when I left, it seemed like it was dope. The chat was like, have Minka come back. That was dope, because I guess it was the first time that they were hearing a girl speak up for the guys, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And that not all women are flutes. And Poppy comes on.
Oh, damn. And we all know how Poppy is.
I left. I had to leave. I had a meeting.
Okay, so you pre-scheduled had to leave. You knew you would have to leave. Okay. You didn't rage quit midstream.
No, and I left.
Some people do that sometimes out in these streets. They get frustrated and then they just rage quit in the middle of the street.
No. I was like, I'm sorry, guys. I really have to go. Like, I gave them a block of time, and it was over 2 hours. I gotta go. Anyways, once I leave, they bring on Poppy. This
mother trucker. Yeah.
He starts saying, "Oh yeah,
his normal Poppy stuff."
Wait. Let me put it.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Poppy Blanco. You in the chat, bro? You in the chat, because you're my G. So, while Minka's digging out whatever, drop some likes, please, everybody. If you're so willing, you're enjoying the conversation and kind of a unexpected turn and an unexpected pivot for the show tonight, please hit that like, please hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. I appreciate you all being here with us on this Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening. Also, per Marcus, my man, my smoke detector brother in crime, please check out my channel. If you like my take on things, consider hitting the subscribe button over there too. every Sunday evening, I usually do a little discussion somewhere between 8 and 9 p.m. Central Time. And I do a diversity of topics, so a variety of topics. So I like to cover all sorts of things. But back to the regularly scheduled / pivoted podcast to Minka talking about Poppy dropping the knowledge in the chat on the Duke and Don, her entry into the space.
I was trying to find a hat so I could put it on backwards and pretend to be Poppy. But anyway, so he goes like, yeah, my man, you know, where's she from? Oh, yeah, she an LA chick. Uh-huh. How old is she? She 30, huh? She 30? I think she said she's 30. Yeah, my man. See, what happened is she got played, right? She got tired of being played by these dudes. They would take care of her. They'll go fuck her, but you know, then they fuck her friend. But they're taking care of the bills, you know. But then she got tired of that. So that's why she like got put on some game. She's like, I gotta figure this out, you know. That's what Poppy. That's Poppy. That's exactly
that's everybody's Poppy, man.
And and this man, we had like an hour-long live one time on Instagram because I bet him $5. I was like, you insinuated I was a hoe. And he's like, no, I didn't. No, I did. I'm like,
keep going. Sorry, keep going.
That's it. So I went on. So Ayunde sent it to me. I asked him for the link because I was showing my friend. I'm like, this was fun. But then I watched it and I saw Poppy and I was like, who the hell is this? And I texted Ayunde. I'm like, hey, put me back in. Next time you have Poppy, put my ass back in. I want to talk to this dude.
So how much later was that?
Like the next week. Okay. Literally. Week.
But at this point, you're not doing anything with Angelus. You're not doing your own podcast. You're simply a guest on a YouTube stream that's been on a YouTube stream a couple times.
This was my first time.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then you went back for round 2.
Yeah.
And then had another good experience on the show, and it was fun with Poppy, and you had some back and forth.
Poppy. Poppy. It was great. Yeah. And so that was the end of it. And I didn't think about it again. And then
did you keep watching content from that point, or were you just kind of like, all right, cool, that was fun?
Yeah, it was like, okay, that was fun. But I had a lot of so I grew up I'm very vocal. I love to talk. I don't shut up.
No.
And then I was on speech and debate. So it's been really fun because my thing was doing speeches. Original oratory was the category. And I haven't been able to do that in so long that it was like, it kind of like
it worked for you. It gave you that what you were looking for, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And I didn't even realize I was looking for it. And so about a week later, I think it was Thanksgiving, Angelus slid in my DMs 14 real quick.
Hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button.
Oh, thanks, guys. So here's the crazy part. And this is the story that I love to tell people is that Angelus hit me up, and Angelus, he is so helpful. Anybody that's trying to create content that he comes across, he's always trying to put them on some game, tell them what microphone to use. This man sent me like 15 different microphones to look at when I was first looking into like what to buy and everything, 20 different cameras. I'm like, bro, help me out. Just pick one. But he goes out of his way for everyone. It's just a genuine human being. And
he's just nice and cares and wants to be helpful. That's been my assessment of Angelus.
He gives a fuck. He is a real person that actually, and it was nice for me because I live in LA and I'm that person for others, but it was really nice to have that through this experience with him.
Because you don't probably have a lot of that out in LA, I'm going to speculate. Yeah.
No. And it's been, this man literally will text me at 3 or 4 in the morning when I'm working, like, you need to go to sleep. Are you eating? Are you well? And I'm like, you're my ideal husband, God. I'll get into other stuff later, but let me.
So he reached out to you.
Mm-hmm.
And what was that initial conversation like?
He saw me on Duke and Don and he was like, I thought you were really cool, wanted to chat. And I'm like, dope. So we just kept on having the same kind of dialogue that was on the show. Mm-hmm. And he started telling me that I should do podcasting. And I was like, I'll think about it. But honestly, I told him straight out, like, I work a lot and I would need to do it with someone that could handle that portion of it. Mm-hmm. And So he was trying to actually, and this is my favorite part.
Did he intend on, was his kind of intent was to partner with you on a podcast, or did that kind of evolve through the conversation?
Well, if you would let me tell the story, sir.
Well, sorry, you were taking a hit there, so I was trying to fill in. I didn't want dead air. Come on now, don't you have some radio edit? Come on.
Okay, good. I'm at 62%. So he's actually the one that was trying to refer me to another girl that he knew and told me that that he thought that we could make really good content together. And I was kind of like, what I explained to him was like, I don't want, and this is after talking to him for like a week. And I told him, I'm like, if I were to start anything with anyone, I don't want it to be with her. And I especially do not want it to be with someone that agrees with me or that has the same stance or that we're similar in any capacity. I don't even want a girl. Like, I want someone that's going to be the complete opposite of me. And I want you to be my partner. Mm-hmm. I was the one that said, like, I want to do this with you. And he was like, what? And then I told him, I'm like, think about it. Like, everybody does the same thing. It's the bias standpoint, trying to convince the viewers of what it is. It's so much better if we were to have, you're a black guy in Alabama, I'm a who knows what in LA, and he's originally from New York, so he claims New York. Let me make sure I correct myself before he.
Although he throws Jersey in sometimes too, I've noticed.
Jersey. I'm sorry, I'm from LA, so I combine Jersey.
New Jersey and New York are different places. You do realize that, right?
Sort of. They're close by.
Yeah, I mean, I have no loyalties to the upper Northeast, but
I'm so sorry to everybody in the chat that's from New York. I already know.
You know who loves New York?
Poppy.
Still? Well, Poppy, I'm sure does. But Mandrell, ask Mandrell about what he thinks about New York City sometime.
Oh, he loves me.
If you're in the chat still, drop your love for New York City, because I know you love the chaos. So.
That's it.
But you suggested to him, hey, let you and me, let's go.
Yeah, because we have the same goal in mind, and that was we talked about everything straight off the bat, and like it's so funny because I always tell people every relationship that you have in your lifetime that you choose to have is like practice for marriage, whether it's friends or family or work or whatever that you choose to, right? And so that's the best way I can describe my relationship with him, which is why we call each other husband and wife, because we're work husband, work wife. And he takes care of a lot of the everything. He really he's making the thumbnails, he's scheduling, he's talking to people, he's networking a lot, especially lately. On top of that, he's been still helping other people get their stuff together for their podcast. I'm the one that looks at, I go onto Google and I have a couple of different softwares that I look through to look at trending topics. And then we go through everything, but he's really how do I say this? He's the engine and I'm the oil.
Oh boy. Oh,
that's my. The best way that I
yeah.
It. He's the engine.
You got to have lubricant. It's important. Because if the engine just runs super hot without lubricant, it's going to freeze up and it's going to have problems. Things are going to get stuck.
Thank you for that one. And it's been a learning process getting to know each other. And the number one thing that we have is trust, where we've had situations where I didn't like something, but we would have a conversation and, it always comes, even if one of us has emotions, it's we tell the other one, I'm not your enemy. Let's figure this out. And then we always come to a solution. Or I've done a couple of things that he didn't like and that he really was opposed to. And I was like, I don't need you to agree with me, but I just need you to support me so that I can go do this. And he's done that, So it's been a real cool thing because our foundation has not been to be like everybody else and just talk about things to talk about things. It's always been, and that to educate and to beg the question of why or who or when or what's the gray area. It's not just about alphas or getting the bag. What happens if you're an alpha and you don't have a connection with a female emotionally and intimately? What happens when you are a female that only thinks about getting the bag and like 20 years later, how do you feel about that? So these are the questions that our foundation is based off of, which is why like even the people, if you notice, that we've connected with, which is our I call it, it's just all the guys, it's Billions, Black Man, you, Mandrell, Poppy, Marcus, like everybody. And I'm sorry for missing anybody. If I'm sure I missed people, a ton of people, and the women like Queen Bee and like and Shushu, and it's Miss B. There's Sir Hale, like it's Canadian Black Man. There's so many people that I've met through doing this that are inspiring because they all bring something different to the table, and they're always asking the same. They're not just trying to ask questions for clout. They're always trying to educate. That's the common denominator in everybody's theme. Everyone's always trying to educate so that people are thinking about things. Even Poppy's put me onto some serious game that I was like, I remember one.
He's gonna put you on that Outback Steakhouse game.
Yes, the Outback. Oh my God. And I called him like a couple weeks ago. Maybe it was like a month ago, because I had a friend that I was seeing, and he did that to me. He was the cool guy. He didn't have me crazy about him, but it was another thing that Poppy put me on game to, which is like, Poppy always says, I treat all the women great because they are my billboards. They're going to run and tell all their friends, and then their friends come to me. And that is and I called him. I'm like, Poppy, I'm a billboard. God damn it, I'm a billboard. And I don't know. It's been a fun, wild ride, and I really like this because it's the one place that I will say, like, a lot of people don't know this, but the last 6 months have been like just a freaking uphill battle for me from work.
Do you want to talk about that at all, or just like at a high level?
Sure.
Yeah. So I guess, before we get into that, let me ask real quick. So you and Angela decide, hey, we're going to go with here's our vision for our stream. Here's what we want to do. And then what was it like from, let's say, the first stream until now? Like, what do you feel has changed? What do you feel has progressed? Because I feel like I've had a little bit of a behind the curtain view on your stream and your growth in terms of you and Angelus in the stream together, because it's not always just like, hey, everything's going awesome, right? Because there's been times where it was like, man, I didn't like how that stream went, or there were bumps in the road. So I guess kind of maybe tell me a little bit about like your thought over the first 6 months of how you two have grown your stream together and what that's been like for you.
Well, and that's what it comes down to, is the foundation. The foundation has always been educating, begging the question, what's the gray area, and trust. Mm-hmm. That's with him and I. It doesn't matter what happens on here, or if it's even in the chats, like the separate chats that we all have together. Him and I have our own, which is we always talk about everything. He always updates me on everything. I update him on everything. I even ask, if I go, and it's not so much with him, but if I go onto another platform, like let's say anybody
let's say Duke and Don called you tomorrow, or like, hey, Minka, can you come on?
I always go to him first. I always say like, hey, this is what I think. And there's been a couple of times where I've done it and he's said, I really don't want you to do it. And I've said, I'm going to do it, but I need your support. And and that's the thing that makes it so great, because and this is what I have explained. And even in those situations, I told him, I'm like, my whole thing when I first started this, for me personally, was I'm a I hate BS. I don't like politically correct. I don't like the facade. I don't like fake stuff. I just don't like it. And a lot of these things are that. And what I told him was, if I'm able to go to that platform that's following this person that's full of crap, and I can say a couple of things that maybe are truthful and resonate with them, and then they can come onto our platform and learn more so that they can ask themselves more questions and grow from that. That's all I want.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. So you've been doing this for 6 months now, and your numbers kind of keep going up. Your views. I know, isn't that crazy? You keep making good content. You keep connecting with more people. Where do you want to see this 6 months from now? Like you're 6 months in, and maybe by the end of the year or whatever that looks like? What are your some of your thoughts of what are some like realistic goals or hopes that maybe you have for the Gray Pill podcast of where the next 6 months for take you? Because the funny part about YouTube is sometimes channels, like from what I've noticed and seen, there's an episode that just hits. And then all of a sudden it just goes like, we were kind of going like this up. And then all of a sudden it's just like this. So maybe that happens and I hope it does, but let's just throw that situation out. And what do you hope for? What do you, yeah.
I'm really big on expect the worst and hope for the best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really, really big on that because I don't have an expectation, honestly. Like I'm having the best time.
Yeah.
I really am. And like, it's what I love teaching people. I love helping people in my actual life. Like I'm a mentor to a lot of women. I have like a 16-year-old. I told you about the 16-year-old I was almost about to adopt. Like I'm like, oh, you're on the street. Come to my home. Like
you're the stray cat lady. Let me take it all the stray cats. Yeah.
In a sense, I'm really good at, because I've been through so many different things in my life, I'm really good at understanding people, empathizing with the feelings that they have, and remembering what that's like to be able to give them some sort of guidance to get out of the hole that they're in. Whether they take that or not is the process that I've learned to let go, because I used to like get mad at people and be like, why don't you just do it? And now it's like, I just love doing it. And if you get it, you get it. If you don't, like maybe the next person does. And so that's why I don't really have an expectation. I'm just kind of really I really am like at the best time of my life right now, where I'm really in the moment.
So I guess let me pose this a different way. Is your hope at some point for YouTube to be like the thing for you? Or in your mind, is this kind of, hey, this is fun. This is kind of like a side project. This is a hobby. I guess where do you someday have hopes of being like, man, if I could be a YouTube full-time person, that's what I would want to do.
I could do this all day or just like as a living. Absolutely. Because it's fun. It's really like, it doesn't feel like work. It really doesn't. And like, I don't know anybody that's on the YouTube community that would say no. If you would say no,
I would actually say no.
You're full of it.
No, sir. I really love my job. I really love what I do. Like my normal job.
That's different. I love my job, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of, like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
This is more fun.
I feel you. And this is fun to have good conversations, but for me personally, like I love my job. I love the actual physical parts of the job I do. It gives me the ability to travel a lot, connect with other people that are interested in a similar specific niche in a profession that I'm also interested in. So that also doesn't feel like work to me. So I would be very, very reluctant to ever give that up because it is just a lot of fun for me, but that's just my 2 cents. A couple more people have coming in. I just want to give salutes to other people. I saw one of the OGs, speaking of Duke and of kind of your start on Duke and Dawn. I know that's kind of where I first ran into CJ. So welcome to you, CJ. Johnny Swab, appreciate you being here. I know I saw you a little bit earlier. Zone, appreciate you being here. And I saw some stuff back and forth in the chats, and I appreciate that maybe people have opinions or insights as to certain things, but let's be respectful to each other. Just because hypothetically somebody maybe bought something or did something that you wouldn't do, don't give them too, like a little bit of poking's kind of fun, but keep it reasonable. That's my ask of everybody in the chat. So, so you would do this full time if you had the opportunity, or if the opportunity present itself, you would be okay with, leaving behind the other stuff.
I think so.
And that's okay to say. That's just me being curious.
I know, but that second part of like leaving the other stuff behind, I'm like,
so, okay, hypothetically, if that played out, I know you and I have talked about this a little bit. You live LA. And you've had some things about LA seemed like you really enjoyed. And then other things about LA, you did not seem to enjoy at all. If you could have a full-time remote job where it didn't really matter where you live, because you could do YouTube streaming from anywhere that you could get an internet connection, would that also make you think, hey, maybe I'm going to get out of LA?
something. I'm gonna tell you a little bit about me.
And it's not just me. There's at least 10, 15 people listening as well too. So you're
No
telling a lot.
way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you the truth about me because if you had asked me this question a couple months ago, I would have said somewhere else, but I would be in LA. And I've done a lot of, I love my favorite question or my favorite comment in this world, in this YouTube world, especially when I get in or we're debating, because I don't think we're arguing. I always leave happy. But a lot of debates happen here, right? And my favorite thing that every guy usually loves to put out or point out is, well, she's 30 and she's unmarried. And I love it because I'm that's the best that you could do is I'm 30 and unmarried. Damn right, I'm 30 and unmarried. It's so, and I'll explain that in a second. So one of the times that I actually answered that question was because they asked me, do I regret not getting married? Because I have been proposed to quite a few times. And
How many engagement rings do you have sitting in a closet somewhere?
I don't have any engagement rings. I did not.
Oh, okay.
No, I think that's I think that's really messed up if a girl keeps saying a ring.
I'm just asking because I've heard that joke come up of oh, she's got a whole collection of engagement rings sitting in a closet somewhere.
No, but a couple years ago I bought myself an engagement ring.
Because you were engaging yourself?
Yeah, metaphorically, I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna work on myself. I'm marrying myself.
I'm gonna say that's kind of cringe, but all right, keep going.
Dude, I washed it in the washer last night. It slipped out, and I'm like, damn, I hope that's gonna be at the bottom when I pick this up. And I lost a diamond. I was like, God
damn it. Did you have insurance on it? Minka.
Dude, I know. It's a fun story now.
All right.
So a little bit about my background, just so everybody is because I'm never that transparent. I always tell half truths, or not the whole story. I am 30 years old. I'm born and raised in LA. My parents are immigrants. My mom was physically and emotionally abusive. My dad was neglectful and abusive as well. They fought each other. They got divorced because dad introduced me to his girlfriend while they were married. And I was like, I met dad's girlfriend. So there's a lot of stuff that happened there, right? And
pro tip, gentlemen, don't let your wife meet your girlfriend or your wife or your daughter.
Don't introduce your daughter to your girlfriend. No matter the age, they know. They're smart.
If you have a wife. If you don't have a wife and you just want to introduce your daughter to your girlfriend, it's probably okay if you vetted properly. But if you're currently married to somebody, probably don't introduce them.
So, and then I also grew up in I grew up hood as shit, super hood. My mom beat the hood out of me.
Keep it real. Keep it 100. No cap. All right. Yeah.
Really, even the way that I talk is completely different because she beat that out of me. She was not on my watch, right? And then I did the speech and debate and I transferred schools. We went to a better neighborhood. She put me in. And this is the thing about my mom. It's she beat the crap out of me and all that was going on. But the way that I see it is my mother prepared me for the world. That's what she did. Because at the same time, she always told me how much she loved me and she didn't know how better to teach me afterwards. And then she put me in fencing. She put me in bowling.
Whoa. Fencing. How was fencing? I've always been intrigued by fencing.
It's so much fun. You got it.
How long did you do fencing for? And hold on, let me put this one up, and I'll let you address this one because I feel like you probably you either are or are you not? Are you still put as F? Yes or no?
I can, but I've learned how to. And this is the part that I say, this is the people. Learning all the things that I learned now. My mother always says it whenever I used to bring up the thing about her hitting me. She's like, God, I'm trying to translate it into English. She would say who from your hood made it out?
Okay.
And that's the part where it's I can easily go.
Oh, sorry. Are you the person that made it out of the hood?
Yeah. 100%. Even out of my entire family, I'm the only one that hasn't had children, and they all had children at 14. It's just uneducated. You know what I mean? When you're,
I was like, it looked like, you know, like a suave man. Like I was, but yeah, it's pronounced like
um,
suave and swag. So yeah, I love
and
it.
Black Man has talked about it too, and that's why I love the things that like I love it when we're talking about it's been this is a funny part is that there's so many Black content creators that are educating their community and they don't even realize that they're educating everybody that's growing up in rural areas because we like I mean it's I mean my high school had metal detectors and there was a shooting like it's that's why when that shooting happened at that club I wasn't as crazy because I've been through those things you know what I mean and
Mhm.
it's it's a mentality. I always call it poor people mentality.
I think
Did
this is
you
a fair question. Did you go from one ghetto to another? The suburb culture can be a ghetto at times, right? So, you know, you said, hey, you were the one that got out of the hood, right? Do you feel like you got out of the hood or did you maybe just go to a better hood, you know?
No, it's I'm not in the hood. I'm not
And I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't even okay, so this is what it is. It
Mhm.
does not have to pertain to where you live. It pertains on who you are. When I was growing up, I was breaking up weed for my cousins because they had acrylic nails. My cousin Ati got shot when I was 10 years old outside of our house and dropped on the side of the road. All my cousins are either dead, deported, or in jail. The girls that I went to high school with, I mean, the stories are nuts, right? And so that's the same track that I was on. At 15, I ran away from home and I never came back home. I've lived a lifetime before a lifetime without adult supervision. I've traveled across the US. I did a thing like, have you ever seen American Honey?
Not in forever, but yeah.
Okay, so that's what I was on a magazine crew and we were selling magazines door to door. It was like the movie. It's nuts.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, I was going to Hollywood parties at 15 years old before, so I really have lived an entire lifetime before my actual lifetime. And like, um, bro, I'm like, huh?
Don't don't get too confused. I'll bring up the good ones for you, Mika. Don't hey, as Angelus always tells you, right? Don't
No,
get
babe,
sucked up in the
I
chat.
love the
Don't get
chat.
sucked up. Yeah.
I love the chat. I love you guys. I
I know you
do.
do. I know, but I'm interviewing you right now, so your attention's yeah
So
on the story.
it's and that's the track record and that's where I was going. I was either going to end up dead deported in jail or with some guy that would beat me or who knows where I would be, right? And then something kind of snapped. I got sober at 19 and I started working on myself and all those things that my mother instilled in me and that my father tried to teach me, they all came out, like all the good parts, and
Mhm.
like and so I'm really big on mental health. I was in therapy for like what, 15 years. I've done the spiritual route, I've done hypnosis, I've done all sorts of things. And like and so the what I consider making it out is when you no longer have that hood mentality. Meaning I no longer fight women. I would rather let someone hit me and call the cops on them and let them deal with it than raise a damn pinky.
Yeah.
That's the difference. And like now I know what it is to invest and not spend money on Air Force Ones or a Gucci bag or like I could do it, but what's the
Mhm.
point? Because I'm trying to create wealth so that I can do more with it, so I can provide for
Mhm.
my family, so that I'm not struggling. So, you know what I mean? And
Mhm.
that's where the difference comes because if you notice, you still have people living in the hood, but they're freaking hustling and they're making good money and they're preparing for their next step. So that's why I say it's not where you live, it's what your mentality is.
I like that. So, all right, let's go back to fencing for a second because I've always found fencing. I found fencing intriguing, and I feel like it's not a sport. It's not a sport you just stumble into. Like somebody has to like push you into that. The kid doesn't wake up, hey, daddy, I want to go. I want to try fencing. Like it's, hey, dad, I want to try basketball, or hey, I want to sign me up for swim, or sign me up for football. But like fencing, and I imagine that's not a cheap sport either to get into. I'm assuming it's some kind of like private lessons and
Yeah.
quit like getting a saber, right? Is that or epee or a saber? Are these the right terms? Um, and all the gear and
Yep. And
like
it's
so to tell me about how long did you do that for and what was that like?
I did it for 2 years and it's
Mhm.
amazing. Well, and I mean, here's the thing. It's not just like, I'm not even joking. Like I did fence. So for fencing, I did that for 2 years. It's not where you, yeah. It's for fencing, I did that for 2 years. It was really good. Would recommend it to everybody.
Hey, if you need a sword, check out Corey. I'm not sure if it's a joke or serious.
I know,
but
I'm
if he
like,
does,
I don't know if it's dirty or not, because I'm like a 12-year-old pervert.
Yeah. No, but there
So-
are, like, have you seen some of these YouTube channels where it's like these master metal craftsmen? Yeah, and they make
Yes.
amazing things. So maybe Corey is one of those people. I don't know.
They make like tiny, anyways.
Mhm.
So I did that. I was in bowling. We went to nationals for that. I was a national champion for speech and debate. I was in a private
You were a
school.
master debater?
Yeah, I was original oratory. I went to nationals.
That was my joke. A master debater.
Oh. That's so good.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. My God. Ooh. Ooh.
Sorry, I felt like I hadn't used one of Angelus's little pre-done things.
He has
And-
some gold nuggets in there.
But yes, so you were a master debater. All right, don't let my next dad joke go right over your head.
Okay. I was in boxing.
Boxing? You boxed?
Yeah.
How long did you box for? Because I'm not gonna lie, I don't imagine you boxing. So talk about that.
Like 3 years. I was really good. There's one of my 11-year sober birthday post. There's like a little scene of me boxing in there. And then I was a long distance runner for a long time. It's just I had all these different extracurricular activities. So it's funny because I never realized it until, and some of them have been in adulthood, right? So like I even had a motorcycle and I had that for a little bit. And thanks, Mandrell. I had a motorcycle for a little bit, had a couple accidents on that. I installed these floors in my house. Like there's just a lot of things that my mother raised me to believe that I can do anything and actually put forth the work and the effort to do so, right?
You're kind of like an all trades person.
Yeah, I cook, I clean. I'm a great cook too. You guys are gonna find out when y'all come down. Oh, it's official, by the way.
Oh, do you have dates and times, and when do we want to do that?
The dates that we agreed upon, but yeah, we're gravy.
Okay, still the same. Okay, cool. Yep.
Side note, sidebar.
Yeah, sidebar conversation, everybody. Don't worry about it. So, okay, you did all these amazing, cool extracurriculars, if you will. Of those, was there one? Was one of those like your most favorite? If you had to pick out just one, and you're like, hey, right now, Minka, you could go do XYZ activity for the next year, and it fit into your schedule, or which one of those probably would you pick from?
Public speaking.
Okay, and why?
There's sounds so stupid, but there's a verse in The Baby with his song intro, and he's like in this song, I'm not rapping, I'm preaching. And it was just like, that was the first time I ever heard that. And I was like, because it's when I'm talking about things, and this specifically pertains to like either healing or things that are really important, like human trafficking or like where the economy is right now or things like that, right? You kind of see me when even on here, I go off on these tangents because I am no longer, when it's happening, it doesn't feel like I'm talking. It feels like it's like an out of body experience. It's weird. And it's like, I come back and I'm like, what did I say?
Lead attorney here.
Kind of like that, right?
That was designed for me. You know, it's funny. It's even through all those things that I couldn't let go of as a kid still haunted me. So I still ended up in a really bad relationship, which is why, and I shared this on my birthday with you guys, that I ended up in a relationship. The guy was cheating. It was just a whole mess. And at the very end, he had thrown me and I had to get spinal injections. It was like a whole thing, right? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, how did I let my life get to this point? How did I let this happen to me? Because I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not like, why me? It's more of, how did I allow this to be what's happening? And I was taking responsibility. And when I looked at that, it's like I was still blaming my parents. I still had some sort of victim mentality. I still had this desire for someone to love me so that I could be accepted, for someone to make me feel like I was whole, right? And so like that's why a lot of the times, like this whole journey that I've had has been a lot of like not just self-loving and healing, like forget about the healing part because that's a whole thing in itself. And I've done a lot of that. But there's a certain thing of like, my drive used to be telling myself I'm not good enough. I have to do better. I have to try harder. Whereas now I tell myself, holy shit, you're kind of the shit. Like I'm like in the middle of painting and I'm like, damn, you're good. Like it's just such a shift and I've been able to do more. And so I keep proving to myself that like I am whole, I am good enough, I am capable of doing all of these great things. And because of that, that's why you guys see me when I go on dates and I say he's not the one. It's because I know now. And that's the part where when we say vet properly, we have to know ourselves before we can actually vet properly. And that happens, and I practice it, like I said earlier, I practice it not only in a romantic way, but I practice it. Oh, this is a good dad, man. I love that you're such a good dad. You're happy, man.
Well, I'm a terrible dad because my one daughter's beating up the other one right now, but that's okay. They'll sort it out. So we're sorting it out.
You taught him how to fight. It's cool. It's so that's why when you see me saying that, I'm like, he's not the one, because I've gotten to know myself. I know where I am, who I am, and I know where they're at, and I can see the red flags from a mile away. I can still enjoy them and have a great date and probably, do the thing that everybody tells me not to do. But I'll just keep talking. But at the end of the day, I'm practicing and I'm picking better. So that's why I end up always coming back to you guys and being like, he's not the one, he's not good, he's not whatever. And it's like, and that's what my main thing that I like to teach people on here is like, it is possible. You don't need someone to fix you. And this goes for men and women, because at the end of the day, men pick women that utilize, like that's where this whole thing came from, right? Men that picked women that abused them, that took advantage of them, took their money, took them for granted. And these were good men, but they weren't picking good because they had the same thing that I did. That's why I love this area. That's why I speak up for the guys, because it's on both sides. And like for the past decade, it's been women talking about it. And now men have this. So it's like, yeah, we should. And this is the other part that I say a lot is that for forever, women have not had a voice, not like we do now, right? Now it's like women empowerment movement. It's holy mother of pearl. The problem with that is that because women have the power now, we should have the responsibility to not do what the men did back in the day and shut the men up. We should be instead raising them up so that we can stop this yo-yo effect. And instead, what I keep on seeing is like these women, they make false accusations. They still talk badly about men. Now they're all talking about get the bag and secure the bag and all this stuff. And it's like, that's just it's just gonna be a history repeating itself cycle where the men are gonna be so fed up and so upset. It's gonna be a men's Me Too movement in some form. And it's going to go back and forth. So that's why I really try to be the thing of like, let's talk about what's happening with the men. And even there's one thing, I talked to Angelus about this. It was driving me crazy. And I finally figured it out the other day. There is a trend on TikTok that says it's just men breaking ice. And it says for my male audience only. And I'm scrolling through these comments and all of these women, including myself, are like, what does it mean? Because these men are just breaking ice. And then the men are scoring the ice breaking. That's all that's happening. And I'm like, what is it? That was like 5 months ago. And I finally figured it out. the manosphere came from a place of men having their own area. Because, and I've explained this to women, it's like, even if a guy has their man cave, if you're with him, what do? We go to the man cave and we're like, what you doing? Can you pay attention to me? Like, you know what I mean? We're emotional creatures and we like that connection. Whereas men sometimes just, it's not us. They just want to just be a potato. Like my dog is, look, this is what men want to do. That's it. That's what men want to do. And they want to be left alone, but they don't have that. And so that's where the manosphere came into play. It was supposed to be a safe space so that men could have their voice. Women were not allowed, so that they could have their privacy. And then it came into the YouTube world, because I actually finally like investigated it, right? And then it became into the YouTube world, where it was like very prominent. And then it became the red pill, and then it became the black pill. And it keeps on getting tainted for what it was supposed to truly be, which was a space for you guys. And if women were there, it was to learn and observe so that they could do better, not so that they could tell men how they're wrong. Right. And so it's just so interesting. It's been a fun ride. Like I said, I love this shit. It's so fun.
Good. And that's a good, and I wanna maybe unpack that a little bit more, because you brought up the whole man cave premise, right? So what's your take on that? Because should a man really even have to have a quote unquote man cave? Because shouldn't the man feel comfortable in his own home, everywhere in his own home?
We're human beings. It's the reality of the situation is we are human beings. When we get in a committed relationship, you do try to pick someone that you can work it out for the long run. And eventually, like I have great examples of people that have been married 20, 30, 40, 60 years. In the last 2 weeks, I keep on running into people that have been married 30 years exactly and are in love. Now it's the grifters and the masculinity. Exactly.
You're talking about the manosphere, if you will. And yeah, and
that's the toxic. That's the toxic part, because it's one thing if, like, okay, I teach girls how to get jobs, because women, part of my belief system is that I think that women, the reason the pay gap is still there is because women, they don't ask for more. I mean, I remember one of my jobs, I got the job offer and I told him, I was like, oh, okay, I have to think about it. And he was like, the fuck? But it's the audacity, because men have the audacity. Women don't have the audacity. And I remember years later, him and I were having, the boss that I had and I were having the conversation. He's like, why did you do that? Why did you say, let me think about it? And I told him, I had other options. I wanted to take a look at all of them. You matched what I was being offered at the other place, but I still wanted to take a look. And at the end of the day, that's how I leverage my value. And he was like, that's really smart. And it's mind-boggling that people don't know how to do this, especially women, particularly.
Well, I'll say this, and there's some studies, I don't have them in front of me, but women are much more less likely to apply for a job that they don't meet all of the criteria for. So if there's a job summary of you're going to apply, women are statistically significantly less likely to apply for a job where maybe they don't check all the boxes, whereas men statistically significantly will apply for a job that they don't necessarily meet each box in the criteria for. So it's a very
audacity.
It's a thing. Yeah.
And that's the way,
go ahead.
That's the way that I apply. When I used to work for people, it didn't matter what it was. I figured it out. And that's the thing that men have, because they're the providers, right? And so that's also been a part of my journey, where we were on Mandrell's channel, and that guy had said how, because I'm a lighter skinned woman instead of the black girl, the black lady that had, Miss B, I believe it was, had spoken right before me, she wasn't even aggressive. She spoke, I mean, politely, considering the fact of everything that he was saying. And she still wasn't aggressive, yet he wanted to use me as an example. And the problem is that most women that look like me just see the compliment and they're like, oh my God, thanks. You think I'm nice? I'm like, no, bitch, you ain't gonna make an example out of me for my friend, because she's my friend. You guys are my online friends. And especially in that situation, even if she wasn't my friend, I would have done the same thing. Because what people don't realize is when you are attacked so much, you can't help but come out aggressive. You either come out super meek or super aggressive. I came out super aggressive. That guy that threw me, before that, one time he tried to do something and I grabbed a golf club and I was like, if you touch me, I swear to God, I'll swing on you. I'm also packing. I have a gun upstairs. I've taken my training courses. I can shoot bulls.
And you could saber them down. You just get a fencing sword and you take your slash. That's what you need. You don't need a golf club. You need a fencing saber.
Well, and I relate to guys a lot too, because that whole situation, all my friends left me and no one had my back and no one felt bad for me when it happened. And I was perplexed. I'm like, I'm a girl and this happened to me and no one cares. And they're all going to him. And it was because he was more feminine and I was more masculine. He was crying about the breakup and I was stoic and not crying about anything, including having to go to surgery. So it's again, also why I had the audacity to apply for those jobs and stuff. So a part of my journey has been transforming and making myself feel safe to be more feminine. And that's been like, bro, I'm wearing pink now. Like, I've never worn pink in my life.
That was not a thing.
No, I've never. My nails are
because you thought it would look too girly, or what was the rationale?
I guess in like the back of my brain, it was like, oh, that's weak. Like that's like lame. That's like ditzy. And I love being feminine now. I love nurturing now. I love love. I love like
so where did that switch in your brain flip? What was there like a day you were like, man, I'm cool with this, or like?
And that's why I said it earlier, I've proven to myself over and over and over again that I love myself more than anyone. And that had to be, and everyone's journey is different. Some people need to love others more than themselves because they're so selfish, right? I'm one of those that needed to love myself more than I loved others because I would want to fix them or help them or save them or whatever. I mean, you knew my living situation, you know what I mean? Like and every time it used to be that I would want to help people no matter what, even if I was deteriorating. Now I want to help people, but if I'm deteriorating or if I'm exhausted or if it's draining me too much or if I just can't, I tell them I can't, I need to take care of myself. Things like that. Or like I had a cousin that lived with me. I'll keep it short. I was so delusional on wanting to help people. All I saw was that my cousin wasn't doing good in life and I wanted to help her. Didn't matter that she hooked up with the guy that I was hooking up with or seeing. Didn't matter that she was talking crap about me. Didn't matter that she stole from me. It didn't matter that she lied about me. It didn't matter that she made up rumors about me. This girl did so much in my life. Oh my God, she's like a tornado. And finally I cut her off. Right? It's stuff like that when you finally hit the mark of like, okay, I don't deserve to be treated like this. I deserve to be treated better. And then you yourself, like I myself started treating myself better. And it goes into play, like you talk about it a lot, exercising, eating right, getting enough sleep. Those are like the bare necessities. And I'm still not good at the sleep part, but I'm really good at the eating healthier part now. You guys always see me eating. I'm always eating like an apple and peanut butter or something, you know what I mean? Like, and then the exercising part, I'm decent where it's like, I do it to feel good, not to look good. I sleep as much as I can, but like, I'm also hustling and grinding, but that itself is also for me, right? So I love the fact that I'm able to provide for myself. I love the fact that I'm able to like, I took out a huge sum from the bank so that I could pay for the things that I need to do for another business that I'm starting. Like, I feel really good about myself. So in turn, what happens is I stop feeling like I need to be loved by someone and accepted. I stop feeling like I need to protect myself from the world because now I also don't argue with people. If you want to No, it doesn't mean that like I'm going to address this because it doesn't mean that you love yourself. Yeah, no, it does. You're supposed to love yourself. It's kind of like the mask, how they love, take care of yourself.
I'll interject. I'll interject a little bit.
Please.
I would say the way I would phrase this is I am the center of my own universe, right? So I am the most important thing to myself. I will prioritize myself in many situations. That's not saying like if it came to stepping in front of a bullet for one of my kids, I would absolutely do it. That's not meaning that. Those are extreme circumstances. I'm talking about on the daily basis. I'm going to prioritize me in terms of there's things that I need to do for myself. And that's not going to be to the detriment of my children or other people, but it's going to say, hey, it's okay for me to say, I'm not going to call this person right now because I'm going to go work out first. That's okay. Make yourself your own mental point of origin, your own focus, because what will happen in this world is people will take advantage of your kindness and you'll not get to the things you want to do. If you're one of those highly empathetic, highly giving people, you'll give, but you won't get what you need. And oftentimes people that are givers will get matched up with takers. And then you're always giving and they're always taking and you're not getting refilled, right? You can't pour from an empty cup. I think I've heard that saying put out there. So you got to fill up your own cup first. So that's my take on this area, I guess. Minka, does that make sense? Is that a decent analogy?
You said it better than I did. Yeah, no, that's exactly what I'm referring to. It doesn't, like you said, I love helping people. It's not that I don't put people first when need to. So like my best friend went through something horrible, like absolutely horrible. It was tragic. And it was my birthday week and all this stuff. And everything went on the back burner. I'm like, I'm here for you, whatever you need. I was there for like a couple of days. I was there for like a week. Anything that the person needed, I was there. I mean, it didn't matter. It's like everything needs to stop because that's how traumatic the situation was. The difference is when I was going through things or this person showed up at my house one day with groceries just to work with me because we hadn't seen each other in a long time. In that relationship, we fill each other's cups pretty evenly. But I have an understanding when they're not doing as good as I am, I can put my stuff on the back burner to see how they're doing. So it's a balance. Everything is a balance. That's all it is. It's taken, but through doing that, and exactly as you said, because of those things, now I used to be so angry and I'm not angry anymore. It's like, that's how I'm able to go through all these chats and all these trolls and the people saying different things. And I'm able to laugh because I know that none of them are true. You know what I mean? And it's when you really know yourself to that extent that it doesn't matter what the world says, that you know you're a good person and you're happy and you want to do good in the world. You're good. You're chilling.
And like what you said there about being angry, I bet when you were angry all the time, I bet you were tired all the time. Because doesn't it take a lot of energy to be angry? Like, did you ever feel that way?
Oh, all the time. Absolutely. But that's the thing, is that like there's just so many different things, and it's a life thing because things happen in life. Emotions are what make us human. That's humanity. I heard a guy that said it once, and he's this huge, like, great guy, and he was like 65 at the time, and he was talking about the sunset, how the sunset took forever to go down that day, and he's like, I think the goal in life is to remain as childlike as possible, not childish, but as childlike. Mm-hmm. And it's like
I'm just a big kid. That's why I'm so happy all the damn time.
Yeah, because it's like, and it's true, because if you, like you said, being angry or sad or miserable or depressed or feeling not good enough, all those lower feelings, lower vibrational or negative, however you want to call them, feelings, they age you. They're just, it's not a good life to live. You turn around and you're just like, my life was shit. Whereas like if you did what you wanted to, regardless of, like, as a good person, but if you like did what you wanted to and you were happy, like you usually, hopefully you end your life and you're like, damn, I did a lot of good things. Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, and I wanted to address Zone. Yes, I know we took a big pivot. I've been talking to Angelus on the back end, and he does have some of the content ready. So we will still cover that topic. What I think we'll do is either as we get close to that time, he'll jump in and kind of get that content ready, or we'll break this and go to another one, to be determined yet. But we will come out with the originally planned content. So stand by for that, please. But yeah, keep going.
Someone said it earlier about the shooting. It's not that I wasn't scared. I was at a nightclub and there was a shooting right next to me. And it's a really funny story, because it's a funny story now. But there was a guy trying to ask me out that I was like, ha ha ha, no, thank you. That same guy, when the shooting happened, was literally holding me up. So while everyone was ducking and covering, I was forced to like watch the whole thing that was happening. And I was like, this motherfucker. And then the audacity, remember? Audacity. He still had the audacity to call and text me the next day and be like, you want to grab dinner? And I was like, no, bro. And it's not that I was scared. I mean, it's not that I wasn't scared. I was terrified. I was terrified of that situation and terrified of the feeling of like, I could get shot at any second now. The difference is that when you're in those situations, to me, it was a blessing at the time, because all of a sudden I thought, do I regret my life? No. Was I a good person? Yes. Did I do good in the world? Yes. Did I do enough? No. So the next day when I woke up and like the shock wore off and everything, I was like, I give 0 Fs now. I'm going to do exactly what I want, how I want it. I'm still going to be a good person, but I'm going to go towards everything. Like, forget what anybody thinks. So yeah, I just wanted to explain that because I was terrified. 100%.
I believe it. I mean, if you weren't scared, then I would think you were not mentally right, because most people just don't want to get ended, right? I mean, that's the natural thing. I've had multiple near ending experiences. Times when I was in the military, times that I, got into car accidents or whatever. There's been several times where it's like you had that moment where this could be it, right? And you have did your life flash before your eyes type of thing and all that, and you do this huge reflection in the blink of an eye of, did I live the life I wanted to live, right? And that can be a very powerful thing for a lot of people. Some people will have that near ending experience, and oftentimes that will actually make people pivot on some certain things in their lives, or maybe redirect their focus, or come to an acceptance with something maybe they were struggling with before. Or that can be a very just pivotal, eye-opening moment for a lot of people.
And that goes back to one of your questions, because I've actually had 3 near-death experiences. So like, one was when I was younger and I overdosed, and then that snapped me into like, okay, I need to get sober, right? And I was scared. I didn't do good in the world. I was like, no. The second time was in a motorcycle accident. The bike like flipped over me. It was slow motion. And I just remember like the first 2 of like, again, did I do good in the world? Yes, but I'm not happy with myself. I'm not happy with my life. I'm not any of that stuff, right? So
Johnny's saying it's a good conversation and it's a deep one. And I agree, Johnny. I think these are valuable conversations. And yeah, we could come on and talk about, well, Cardi B did this today, right? But I don't personally find the value in those conversations. I know they're entertaining, and a lot of people do like the entertainment value, but I think these, maybe while not getting as much attention, are way more valuable. So
yeah, I'm having a blast. So the third one is, as you can tell, the only part that was missing was that I felt like I did not do enough, right? And so, good evening. Oh, there he is. See? Sorry. Anyway, so that's what pivoted, because as you know, I was crying with these guys, with Primal and Mandrell and Deuce and Angelus and Poppy. I was crying when we would finish these. I would cry to them and be like, I don't know what to do because the people are fake. This drama is happening and blah, 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 right? And you guys constantly would tell me like, I should look at living somewhere else, or I should look at changing my atmosphere. I should anything. And that's the moment where it was like, I stopped thinking of myself as a victim of like, oh, woe is me, I don't have friends. I still don't really have very many friends. I have like a couple of people I talk to and a bunch of acquaintances. But what I can tell you that's different is that now I'm my friend. And I realized that I'm still waiting to get more good people, but I was so focused on the reality and not working on all the things that I'm working on now, I didn't realize the blessing that I had in front of me, which was you guys. And I know it sounds like simpy or whatever. I don't care, because I'm really grateful for it, where I've had so many different situations that all of you guys have really come through and just supporting me, that I don't need a lot. I don't need someone to like, I'll do this for you, I'll make sure this is good. I just need support of like, I've got you. Emotionally, you want to talk. I mean, you called me after the shooting. Like, if you want to talk at any point, even months later, that means so much to me. It's like that moment where you like filled my cup and I can keep going, and so then that transpired. And then I kept meeting more people that that were more like me, where their cups were empty because they give. And now it's like, I've got like a whole little tiny little crew of women and guys that like are they're just really great human beings. And
Well, to that point, somebody I know very closely, she texted me the other day because you and a couple of your colleagues or friends reached out to her during a kind of dark time. And she just texted me and she said, "How did you bring these people into my life?" And I just said, "Hey, I just helped make the connection." That was all it was, right? And that's what a lot of this platform is. Yeah. Yep.
I mean, even the same thing. It's, you told me, I told them. I was sick this last week, and my girl, the 16-year-old down the street, her story is her mother, she's half black and half white. And her mother, she found her mother dead in the shower a couple months ago. And I was friends with both of them. And it's 3 kids, and she's the youngest, and she's 16, and she just lost her mom. And that's the one I wanted to adopt and all this stuff. And it ended up working out because her grandma's taking care of her now and everything. But I was sick she's at my house all the time. I feed her. We're getting her back to school clothes. Like, I'm still like very much prominently there. And now she's my family. I was sick last week, and I texted Robin, I texted Marie, and I texted another girl. And I'm like, hey, I'm sick as hell. Can you guys keep checking up on her? All week, they kept giving me updates, just checked on her, brought her food, took her to work, blah, blah, blah. And that's like, you talk about a tribe all the time. That's the same thing that we have in this YouTube sphere. And that, I really feel like that, like you said, that was a thing that like pivoted. It changed the perception that I had, and it pivoted. So that's why I'm here in LA. That's why I'm still not moving. That's why it's like, okay, no matter where I go, I want to be this person that I am. So
that's good stuff. And it's good to have found, at least, like you said, 2 or 3 people that you can rely on and have your back, and you have their back. Because I know people maybe have this vision in their head of like growing up, and you're going to have this giant circle of friends, and you're going to have 10 awesome friends throughout your whole life. Like, let's keep it 100. That's probably not going to be the circumstance for most people. You will be lucky if you have maybe 2 or 3 really good friends once you get into your later 20s and your 30s and your 40s, because life happens. People move, people get married, people have children, people take different jobs, people pass away, like life will happen. And by the end of, throughout that 20s, 30s, 40s, if you have 2 or 3 really solid people in your life that at 3 a.m. you could pick up the phone and be like, "Hey, I'm in trouble, I need your help." If you have 2 or 3 of those, I would say you're very lucky. So
that's the thing. It's like, this whole YouTube thing is like, that's why you asked me about the whole career thing. Like, I don't have any expectations of it, because I've already gotten so much from it. I mean, you like Poppy and he's the one that between Angelus, because his hours are weird too. Poppy is always up at 3 a.m. I will FaceTime him.
Let's not talk about why Poppy's always up at 3 a.m, because but Poppy is always up at 3 a.m. for a makeup.
And he always picks up. He's like, "What's up, Ma?" I'm like, "Let me see the booties."
That man is for the streets. I will say that much. I don't know if he is the streets or lives in the streets, or he's for the streets, but he's something to do with the streets.
He is the streets. Poppy's the epitome of the streets. Except someone's got to teach that man how to eat the clam chowder.
I don't think he's going to. I don't think he wants to. I don't think he's going to. And that's just Poppy. He don't want to. There's certain things that certain people won't do. I think that's a Poppyism.
Yeah. So, I mean, and this is the reason I was sharing all of this stuff is because there's constantly the thing of like, oh, you were in your prime in your 20s. I look way better now than I did in my 20s, first of all. And secondly, I pick way better than I did in my 20s. And my belief system is I don't, when I'm looking for a partner, I'm not thinking, oh, is this the person I want to marry? I'm always, and that's what I love the day that you said this. I was like, my guy. I'm always thinking, is this the person that I want to raise children with? Would he be a good father? Would he have the same kind of mentality on how to raise children the way that I want to raise my children? Is like all those things, right? I would not be able to be a good enough person to become a wife, nor pick well enough if I had not gone through all those learning experiences. So I'm glad that I waited until now that I'm able to like be that person. Does that make sense?
It does. Do you so is that, can I ask, is that part of like your life goals and life plan is to get married and have kids and do the whole family thing and all of that? Or is that maybe something you're kind of like, if it happens, it happens, great. If it doesn't work out that way, I'm kind of like, okay, whatever. Or like, I guess if you like, what's your thought on that? Is that something you're actively pursuing or wanting? Is like, hey, I really want to get married and I really want to have kids.
It's not that I really want, I know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of finding the right person. But I do want to have children and get married. But I'm not willing to just marry anyone just to have kids.
Well, and I think that's a really good thing. Don't just have kids with anybody. That's the single most important decision you'll ever make in your life is who you have children with. I'll stand by that one forever. But yeah,
I mean, I had this conversation with a friend of mine. He's been my friend for like 10 years. Freaking genius, literally to like genius level. And we were talking about it. And he asked me the same question. He's like, you're 30 now, aren't you? Like, what's the deal? And I explained it to him and he's like, oh God. And he was explaining to me that most women in their 30s that are dating, that he goes on dates with, are interviewing him as like, what's your FICO score? Or what's this? Like, oh, you have a 401k? How much do you make a year? And it's like, y'all are checking the wrong boxes.
They're interested in them like as a check sheet, not in them as a person.
Right. And that's that's desperation. That's like you're looking for all those things, but you're not explaining what you can bring to the table, what your value is. You're not getting to know the person beneath that surface level stuff. And you're not going to be able to know if that's a right partner for you or not. Like, they may be Jewish and you're Buddhist. Like, those are the things that you should be asking. So it's just crazy to me right now. And so that's why I understand why all the guys are always like freaking roasting me and stuff.
Well, and Minka, here's I think part of the rationale for that conversation too is once you cross into that 30 heading for 40 range in your life, the whole childbearing thing starts to become more precarious. It becomes more precarious for you. It becomes more precarious for the baby. It becomes just medically more difficult, right? So if let's say you're 35 and you're not married yet, and okay, cool. But if you want to get married and have a kid once you hit like 35, then I mean, so let's take let's take a classic scenario of, all right, you meet somebody, you're 35, you probably date for a year, right? To kind of get to know them. And then they propose after that first year. And usually most proposals are a year. So you're 37 by the time you get married. And even if you get pregnant right away, you're having a baby at 38. That's kind of pushing the health limit, if you will. I'm not saying it's impossible, but people are setting themselves up for a higher rate of potential problems, right? Is that something that weighs on your mind at all about, hey, I want to have kids, I want to have a family? Because and that's just as me being like 100% like 100%. Objective. Yeah.
I know. Yeah. It's the issue with that is that like, that's become like a standpoint of like the guy's side of the argument to like sort of in a way attack a female, because the reality of the situation is women have been having children later and later in general without issues. And when there are issues, there are so many things available now to help with those issues, that it's not as big of a deal as it was, let's say, even 7 years ago. Like, because you have to understand, like, guys don't, y'all don't read about this stuff. Women have been having issues having children more in the last 7 years than they have in any other time, because we've been on birth control for so long. It's now messed with our bodies. On top of that, with the hormones that are in foods and all the things in our polluted world, right? Men are, I mean, I have a friend that he was shooting blanks, and like, he had to go to the doctor, and everyone said, you can't do it, blah, blah, blah. There's no way to fix it. This dude quit vaping. He quit vaping, knocked her up. That's what, and so that's the thing, is like, my mom, and this is the thing too, is like, I have so many examples, not just because of the studies and because all the research that's been done because of women having issues of having children in the last 7 years. I also have so many examples. My mother had my little sister at age 40, no issues. She came out healthier than I did, because when she was having me, she had 4 miscarriages before me, and I was a preemie. So it's just a different ballgame now. And like, while that is still true, what you said is true, 100%. I'm not saying it's not. It's not as prevalent as it was before. So, and I don't think that I'm going to be the person that's waiting till 35 to get married.
And it's just valid questions I'm asking, because, as you know, I am a medical professional, so I do keep up on some of these things.
I know you fact check me like quite a few times, and I love it, because it's like more accurate.
And it's just, even if it's a 3, let's say there's a 3% rate of problem versus a 1% rate of problem. Again, the odds are that things are probably going to be okay. The odds are it's probably going to be okay, but there's a increased chance or prevalence of there being a problem. And for the woman too. What's up, baby?
Is there anything you need help with?
Not right now, but I'm going to finish this up and then I'll come and do some stuff.
Okay, I've cleaned the jar.
Oh, thank you very much.
Because it was full of the blackberries, and I ate.
You ate the rest of the blackberries? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, I'll be out in a little bit.
Okay.
All right, baby. Love you.
Okay, so with that interaction, I want to break it down. When I analyze guys that I'm going out with, right? What you just did is what I'm looking for in a man to get married and have children with. You gave her your undivided attention, did not matter what was happening. You were attentive and responsive to what she said, so she felt important, and you told her you loved her. There's all of that. You see what I'm saying when I'm like, when I'm going on a date with someone and they don't have any emotional intelligence, or they are emotionally like cut off because they're not willing to be vulnerable, or there's just so many little things that guys do that show me the details of like, they're not capable of that yet at this point of where they're at.
Oh, well, you're gonna make me cry over here. Well, that's just my baby. I love my baby. That's just part of what it is.
But that's so important. That's why
yeah, wouldn't you assume that's the default?
No, because it's
which
not.
Is sad. That's sad.
It is sad. But that's why I'm saying like I love that it just happened right now, because that is literally the embodiment. Like the way, like this is the way it goes. If I'm on a date with a guy and he has his phone up like this while we're on the date, he's distracted. He's still looking at it. Or if he has his Apple Watch and he's looking at it in the middle of the date, no, thank you. Because if on a first date you're doing that, that already tells me where you're at. Your attention is not there. It's those kinds of things that are the things that I was not able to see before or pay attention to. You know what I mean? So it's I'm still waiting. I don't think it's going to be 35.
I'll tell you if you keep staying in LA, you might be waiting for
I was about to say, I will tell you this. If in the next year, a whole year, I'm not able to find anyone in LA, I'm probably going to go somewhere else.
Would you expand the search elsewhere, or would you plan on picking up and relocating and then searching?
I don't know.
Like, so what I guess what I'm asking,
There's a
have you
year,
ever?
sir.
Yeah, but okay. So I guess I'll ask this: have you ever dated somebody that didn't live in LA?
Yeah.
And did you have like a long term relationship? Did you pick up and move, and then it didn't work out, and you moved back, or what did that look like?
They came here.
So they where can I ask like what where were they at generally in the world?
Somewhere in the Midwest. I can't remember what state it was.
Okay,
Oh,
and
Colorado.
how did you all connect?
They were out here and then they went to Colorado. When we first met, they were out here, but then a month later they went to Colorado. We kept on talking. And then I went to Colorado and then they came and then we were traveling back and forth. And then they moved back here about 6 months later. And then it didn't work out.
Did they move in with you, or did they move into their own place?
They moved into their own place.
Okay. And then did they stay there after things didn't work out, or did they back to Colorado?
They stayed there afterwards.
Okay. So they were potentially looking at moving to Los Angeles anyway, or they were just like, I like it here now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Was that a one and done kind of experience, or have you done that before? So let's say, hey, you got on a dating app or you connected with somebody on Instagram and they lived in Texas or Florida or wherever. Yeah. I don't know.
Nope. I don't do any of that. It's
Okay.
I have to meet them in person. I don't do the connecting on social media or online things and then something happens. Like I meet the person in person. And then if logistics are an issue, then we talk about it. So it's never been online.
Mm-hmm. So I guess, okay, let me ask that then. Are you don't use dating apps, or historically have not, or has that been something you've tried
No,
before and just didn't like, or?
I tried it and everything. I'm just saying that I would not be willing to meet someone online, start a relationship, and then do the long distance.
Gotcha.
Starting online.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. I mean, I am like not a proponent of long distance relationships. I don't think they work out very well. That's just my personal take and experience.
Zone.
What's that?
I love Zone.
Single by 40. I don't know that movie, but and then Zone's
coming out in 10 years, guys.
Just trolling. I'm just trolling. And yeah, I hope that doesn't happen, right? It's interesting how. Did you think if somebody was telling the story of if you go back to yourself at 20 years old, if you got in a time machine and went back and talked to your 20-year-old self and told your life story, would your 20-year-old self believe you?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it would be surprising.
I mean, is this where you kind of predicted you would be at, or like if you're 25, you're 23, 24 years old, or you're like, hey, I'm going to go do this, that, or the other, or this is going to be my life and I'm going to do this, this, or this. Has there been things along the way that you were like, man, I really wish I would have, or I really wish I wouldn't have, X, Y, Z?
No, the way that my belief system is this, like, I believe that everybody has a different religion, but it's all the same shit, different toilet. And I also believe that everything that you go through in life is a part of your story. I think everyone has their own story with their own little universe and how it goes. And I've always known at some point that I was going to be this kind of person. It's weird to say, even like in my darkest times, like when I envisioned myself older, this is the kind of person that I saw myself as being. So and all those different experiences, the good and especially the bad ones, made this possible. So I'm stoked.
Yeah, no, it's cool stuff. So I guess with you, in terms of balancing your professional career and your up and coming YouTube awesomeness, how has that been for you? Has that been a struggle at all? Because I've seen you do streams from gigs at times, or like pop into a stream from a gig. So how do you balance that? What does that look like?
Well, so it's funny because I'm in digital marketing, so I actually have a lot of different plans that I've been setting up with my team. I have a team of different people that do different things, like creating content and all that stuff for other clients. So we have plans, but because of all those plans, it takes a budget, which is why I've been working extra hard to allocate for that. And it's really cool that someone told me the other day, they're like, it's really cool to see that you're passionate about something that no one could give a crap about, but you love it. And that's how I feel. And I've had this question at a lot it's funny how many, like, it's a lot of times that people have asked me, like, why don't I do my own thing? Why don't I have my own show and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, the fuck, does marriage mean nothing to you people? Does commitment mean nothing to you people? First of all, and second of all, Angelus is the engine and I am the oil. He cannot run without the oil. I cannot run without the engine.
Gotta keep it lubricated. Gotta keep it lubricated.
All these things, like the setup and the time and the creating the thumbnails and like getting everyone together and sending out the links to the people that are coming on the panel and responding to the chats and moderating. I would not be able to do this on my own. I would not. And I say it every single time, and I say it over and over again, and I have no plans. This is my committed relationship. It's our baby. And it's been like, I really lucked out. So
Good. I love it. And I guess I'm curious because I don't know. When you say you have a job in digital marketing, can you kind of explain that to me and the chat of what that means? What does that mean on a daily basis? Like, what is, like, you wake up in the morning and go, like, what happens?
I wake up in the morning and I immediately see my phone calls and my text messages and my emails, and I specialize in strategic marketing. I have a team. We do websites, SEO, pay-per-click advertising, lead funnel generation, social media marketing, social media strategy, hacking back into Instagram and social media accounts, securing those platforms to videos, photos. So like we do videography and photography. We do editing, animation, a little bit of animation, no voiceovers, and no PR.
So on the daily, like, do you have a particular specialty in that area, or like what's your focus? Because that's a big umbrella, right? So what's your thing? Because I feel like in those kind of jobs, people have a thing. So what's your thing in that?
Well, it's my company. So I am generally the closer on the sales, and I am I create the plan. So I sit down with a client and I create a plan and I tell them, like, this is the best strategy for your industry, for your specific niche, for your company, for your brand, for your offer or supply or product. And I create an entire strategic plan, and then I hand that to the client so that they know what they're signing up for. But then I go over with the entire plan with my team, and then they execute everything and they send it to me before it goes out.
And your crew, like, you said it's your company. So can I ask, like, how many people are in your brand, in your company, and what's that look like?
It's 7, and it's been a freaking ride, man.
Have they all been there pretty much from the start, or was it, hey, I started off and it was just me and then I acquired more people? Or talk about, so have you been doing this for 10 years, give or take? Or
so I've been doing marketing for 10 years. I didn't start my own company until like 3 years ago. We're going into our 4th year.
Tell me about that.
It was just me. I started on. So, okay, let me go back. I was doing it for many different companies. The last one that I was working at, I knew that I was going to start my own, but I needed to save up more. So I actually was doing bottle service for 2 years on the weekends. And I was
Whoa. Hold the phone. Okay. So pause that for a second. You worked in bottle service. Tell everybody, in case they don't know, what does it mean to work in bottle service?
Y'all know what it means. Okay, so basically you pay an obscene amount of money at a club to have me and other hot girls in skimpy outfits come out with like lightsabers in a bottle and be like, haha, here's the bottle. Ha, ha, ha. You could have gotten it at $40 at the store, but it's going to be 600 here. And I would collect an automatic gratuity of 20% on that. And I was averaging probably like 25% at the time with tipping. And then after tipping, like 23%. So it was, yeah.
So you would go into a Friday night at Club XYZ.
It was I was working Monday.
So when would when would you go into Club XYZ to start working?
I'm telling you, this is my schedule. For 2 years straight, like straight, other than holidays, which we took off. 2 years straight. Monday through Friday, I would work at the office anywhere from, I was always late. So I was literally, I would show up at 9 or 10 when I was supposed to be there at 8, but I would stay until 7 or 8 p.m. Then I would go to the club on Friday nights and Saturday nights from, I had to be there at 9:45 and I wouldn't leave until 3:30 or 4 in the morning. And Sunday was my only day to sleep.
Dang, that's rough. So when you would go into the club.
I say I hustle. I hustle.
You hustle, yeah. So you go into the club, and it was Friday night. You'd start working. People, I'm guessing in LA, probably didn't even start really showing up to the club until 10, 11, midnight. I don't even know. So you'd have a group come back and sit in the VIP area for the bottle service. Is that how that worked?
Yeah.
And then, how many bottles would these bottle service tables buy at $600 a bottle?
Like 2.
2?
The average is usually like 2.
So they drop $1,500 on this bottle service by the time they bought, because I'm sure they bought a couple more drinks and maybe some appetizers or whatever.
No,
okay. And then they tip a little bit and do all the things.
It was always automatic 20, but it wasn't always extra tip.
Oh, okay. So how much, can I ask, on a normal Friday night, how much would you walk out in your pocket?
It would range anywhere between like 300 to like 600.
That's not a bad night.
No, but there were nights when I say I hustle, I am good at hustling and
because would you do multiple tables? Would you bottle service for multiple groups? Yeah.
But then here's the kicker. There were quite a few times where I was doing it alone because the girls would show up drunk or whatever. And I'm sober through all this. It's the funny part so they would show up drunk or whatever, or someone would be sick. So I'd be alone. I'd be walking out with almost 1,000 and that's
nice.
Right. And then on holidays, I think my best holiday, I made 3,000. Yeah.
Did you just sign up for all the holidays?
I was always working holidays. It was already a given.
So, okay, because I've never been in a place where A, there was bottle service as an option, and B, probably would pay for it. What's that interaction with those people like? Do you just go up and kind of grind on them almost a little bit, or what? What was the expectation with that? What was that like?
That's a strip club. That's not what happens at bottle service. What happens at bottle service is there were definitely girls that would flirt and pretend something would happen or give their number out, but then they would never talk to the guy. But I was always straightforward with guys, but because again, my deal was I'm the hot girl, but I was the hot girl that I was management loved me because I could sell. And I would tell them this is usually 2 bottles is 6, or each bottle is 600. Yeah, each bottle is 600. But you guys have 18 people, so for sure you're gonna get 3. If you buy 4, I'll give you each bottle at $450 or $500. So that's
you were cutting deals, yeah.
And that's why I say I never had to do any of that or be that girl. I was always I'm giving the deal, and so then I would also get these pay women to make it fun. Not touching though. And yeah, that's the other thing too, is because you see me on my social media when I go out, you're having
a fun time.
Dude, I'm the best time because I literally do not care. I've never cared what people thought. So if I want to dance, I'm going to shake my butt if I want to. If I want to rage because it's a techno song, I'm going to rage. If I want to tell all the girls they're pretty, I'm going to tell all the girls, Oh, and that's the other thing too, is that I brought girls to the tables where there were like 18 dudes. I would bring girls. I'd be like, oh my God, my
And I'm
friend.
sure they loved it. I'm sure they loved it and ate that up. Yeah.
I always, because it's easier for girls to go up to other girls. So I would tell these random beautiful girls, like my cousins are in town and they just got bottle service. Do you guys want to come hang out at the table? Or like my brother's friends got bottle service. They're celebrating graduation. Do you guys want to come and get free drinks? Like, and I would just bring a buckload of girls. So I ended up having, it was like my mini business where I would have a roster. I still have people.
You were a madam. You weren't a pimp. You were a madam.
I still have people in my phone saved as so-and-so bottle service, Primal bottle service, like Poppy 1942 bottle service. Like it was a very interesting.
It would be Hennessy only from what I see on his streams or on his live chats.
Yeah. Let me get my charger really quick.
Yeah. And hey, while we're pivoting here, because this has been a really fun pivot from the original topic, I really appreciate everybody rocking with it. This was fun to kind of hear kind of the origin story of the Gray Pill, where it came from, what it's kind of evolved into, and where they hope to go with it. And then Minka kind of highlighting how she came to where she is in life. So it's been a really cool discussion, a really cool chat. I've really appreciated it. I've had a lot of fun with it up to this point. In a few moments, we will be transitioning to the topic that was announced, and we'll dive into that a little bit. But I do want Minka to kind of have the opportunity to kind of finish up the story, because she's living the life, and maybe we'll finish the story up a little bit later with the bottle service and whatnot. So you did a lot of that to create funding for what you wanted to do with your real life, basically, is what I'm getting out of it.
Yeah, it allowed me to like be completely debt free, pay off my small college debt, and have like 15 G's to start my business. So
and then you started your business. You were kind of doing it on your own, and then the people that you connected with and brought in, were they people you already knew from previous relationships, or you kind of sought them out and did the whole Zip Recruiter or whatever and found them? Or I don't know how that works, but
it's so funny. Like they say that when you start your business, really take a look at the people that like are there for you, because not a single person that I knew referred anyone to me or anything like that. That didn't happen until I was established.
That's brutal, because you would think your friends would be like, hey, I know so-and-so, they're in the industry. Maybe they can't work for you full time, but maybe they'll come part-time for you.
Right. But that's the part. That's why I say, like, I learned that that's such a true phrase that they say. If you start your own business and it's whatever it is that you do, selling leads, fucking credit score generation, like selling a product, you'll find that your friends are the ones that want it for free.
I pup or kitty or whatever just ran by.
She's the dog.
Oh, woof, woof, woof. But your friends, like, you'll find out some information about them based on you starting your own business and how they kind of help you with it. Yeah. So,
and that's what it comes down to. But I'm glad it happened. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I think this is a really cool story, because I'm always intrigued by entrepreneurs and how they started with their business and how they found success and maybe some of the lessons learned. So maybe that's a chat you and I can have sometime. Maybe come on my channel and talk about it, because there's people that are always wanting to start with their own business and do their own thing. So I think that would be a lot of fun sometime, if maybe you
super down.
We
100%.
talked about your journey into your starting your own business. I think that would be a really cool thing. But on that note, I want to welcome up to the stage the host with the most, my man, my brother from another mother, Angelus. Angelus, brother, how are you?
What's going on? What's going on? Let me get my ugly fist here. What's going on? Hey, first of all, I appreciate Primal Studies to jump on in, man, and hold it down like always. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much the ending of what Mika was saying, that you can't find the friends that you actually need. You get the fans that you really want. So I appreciate Primal for jumping in that one, helping us out. I will have to apologize on this other half of the Grape podcast, because we had a miscommunication with time. Even though the thumbnails and all that good stuff said 8 p.m. Central Time, that's 6 o'clock California time. So, but one thing I do like about this is that we are having a great conversation. I like that Mika actually had the time to actually put her face forward more than me, and showing more of a good side of a conversation with the origin story and more depth. And appreciate to Primal, because I was hearing the whole conversation in the back where where she can get more depth conversation on her and how she came to be, because everybody always hearing me give like jewels and nuggets in front and behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? So moving forward with that, pretty much my goal with just Gray Pill Podcast, even just make a pair, because it's so much Angelus can do, right? I can't just go to Black Men Unfiltered because people see me and say, hey, Gray Pill, hey, GP, hey, this, and they only think of me as that one individual, and it's actually two. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully moving forward, Mika, when because her plans pretty much is coming the way she wants to, and I'm blessed that she's having it that way. You know what I'm saying? You can't get success without working hard. So when she's getting a little bit more free time, I would definitely have her more point out to the, hey, these are the guys right here that rock with us, or hey, let's go together and do this. You know what I'm saying? And she can put more of a best foot forward than she really wants to. Because again, this is real life. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy Primal taking his time out, even on his own stream. We support him. We rock with him. That's my brother from another mother. You know what I'm saying? He does it as a hobby. Shushu, appreciate her. That's Mandrell's sister. Shout out to Betty. That's a classmate of mine. Because even in the beginning, I don't like to not really doxing people, but tell them like these are people that I know, but these are people I know. You know what I'm saying? These are people on my end. They knew me from years ago, see me, and I organically reach out to these people, and they see what you're not gonna get everybody. Like Mika said, you're not gonna get everybody. But at least these people know like you're a genuine person. I know your character's the same. I see both of y'all. I like the dynamic. And that was one thing the compliment I got from Primal. Like, look, I love y'all personality together. It works. You know what I'm saying? I love y'all chemistry. It works. And here we are today. So I appreciate you all. So on that note, with that being said, I'm just gonna give a little bit of intro because it's me. I'm in here. So here we go.
I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up. No, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this.
Yeah, that's hot. All right, so originally the topic was that if you see the thumbnail, and Mika pretty much chimed in on a lot of talking points of it, was with a gentleman by the name of Christopher Toby. That was, again, you could take your opinions about it, but I'm just going to show this little clip and we could take it from there. All right. And I'm guessing everybody see it. All right. So if anybody haven't heard of this individual, Christopher Toby, I can't pronounce the last name. I'm not even gonna try to. I'm not gonna butcher my name. And Courtney she's pretty much is a online fans girl. She's a IG model. Followers like 1.2 million, something like that. Was the report was in Miami that she had brutally stabbed the boyfriend in Miami. TSZ caught a lot of it, and we're going to show a clip from here.
Tonight, as police continue to investigate the stabbing death of a man by his girlfriend, we're hearing from that woman's attorney.
And it comes as we see new video of the social media model after she was released from a Baker Act. Local 10 crime specialist Bridget Mather, live now in Miami with more. Bridget.
Calvin Nicole, tonight, the stabbing death of Christian Obumseli remains under investigation. Police still trying to determine if this is a case of self-defense or if this is murder. And Courtney Clenney's lawyer is now responding to a new viral video of her out in public after she was released from her Baker Act. Miami police continue to investigate the stabbing death of 27-year-old Christian Obumseli. According to detectives, there was a struggle between Obumseli and his 25-year-old girlfriend, Courtney Clenney, before he was stabbed once. Clenney has not been charged. Police are working to determine if this is a case of self-defense or murder. Shortly after the stabbing, video from TMZ captured by a neighbor shows Clenney covered in blood, cuffed on the floor of their luxury Miami apartment. Clenney was detained, but while talking to police, she threatened to take her own life. She was then Baker Acted. Shortly after her Baker Act release, a woman spotted Clenney in a hotel lobby.
Yeah, you should go because you just killed your boyfriend.
I asked Clenney's attorney about the interaction. He responded saying she was in the lobby with her father, saying in part, "Again, it's sad that a member of the public who has no idea about the facts leading up to Mr. Obumseli's death would berate Courtney, who's a victim of repeated domestic violence. She justifiably acted out of fear for her life and had to defend herself." Local 10 spoke to a neighbor who says he saw the abuse.
Not tell if it was open-handed or closed-handed, but he was swinging at her.
The couple's friends described a turbulent relationship and abuse at the hands of Courtney.
I've seen her hit him. I've never seen him hit her.
It's a stark difference from the loving relationship the two portrayed online. Miami police say there are no new updates in the case. It remains under investigation.
She's sleeping with the neighbor.
What happened?
She's hooking up with the neighbor.
That's what made her go to the extreme lengths of that.
He's the only one that saw him hit her. He's like open and close and.
All right, you muted, Primal. Do you have like a thought of that before? I know you got, hold on, you muted. For some reason your volume not kicking in.
Can't hear you.
Yeah.
No, sorry about that. The kids have been calling, so I'm gonna have to roll out here. I appreciate everybody, but you know what? I think this comes back to something we've talked about numerous times: is vetting properly, right? And we got to vet properly. And I've said this probably many times before, but there are toxic people in this world. It's okay to exit them from your life before they give you problems. Just don't deal with that. Vet properly, and we all make mistakes. Right? We all make mistakes. Maybe we let somebody in that probably shouldn't be in there. But once you realize that, you got to exit. You got to next. Like, it's okay. Don't keep rocking down the same bad path because you're going to have bad results. So, hey, I just want to big salute to Angelus. Big salute especially to Minka. Thank you so much for sharing the origin story. I really want to talk about at some point your journey into building your own business. Because I think that's really, really cool. And I just want to explore that some more. Big shout out to the chat for rocking with us because we rocked for a good 2 hours on the origin story. That's like a starter Marvel movie. So I appreciate everybody rocking out and hanging and just having a good time. So salute to you all. And I appreciate the love.
All right. Appreciate you, man.
Thanks, Primal.
Anytime. I'll see you later. Mm-hmm.
Zaddy.
Don't do that. You already know when that word come up, troubles happens. Trouble happens. But seriously though, so what you thought about just that in the video alone? Because
I'm telling you, I think she's been hooking up with the neighbor dude, and that I don't know about the abuse part because it's hearsay, but.
I mean, they have witnesses that we just saw in the clip that said that one side said one and one side said the other.
That's my point.
Because I and this is my thing. Like, I can't see it takes a lot for. I mean, I'm not gonna say mental issues, but it's like, what drove you to that? Because she's very attractive. She got 1.2 million followers. She's a OnlyFans girl, so she might be hitting at 6-10% top dollar earner, you know what I'm saying, with the content she put out. And I'm not gonna hate on OnlyFans because I'm just gonna keep 100. When we hear OnlyFans, just like we hear IG women, the THOTs, when we see those women like that, they do have content that's actually they don't have the best light of them, but they do have content that's actually I'm not a subscriber. I'm just going by hearsay too. It's not always for what you think it is. Matter of fact, I can confirm that because what's his name? My man from Breakfast Club. He actually mentioned he has OnlyFans, but he only used OnlyFans to promote his real estate. So it's out there.
Right. But it just
Okay.
She wants attention. It's been a couple hours.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna say this. Like, I had this conversation the other day. Yeah, see, more blazing in public because they can be. But if you are, yeah, it's behind closed doors. I feel like maybe she was going through stuff, but I'm just saying, like, it's not a good mix. It's just logical, bro. Like, OnlyFans has been, and I have this conversation. That's what I had a conversation of the other day with someone. I'm all about women empowerment, especially if it's getting you out of poverty. I've seen it firsthand, and especially like if it's women that like, right? There's women that are like extremely like sexual. Can I say that word?
Yeah.
Oh, sexual, meaning like they love it. Like you've seen the greatest like women in that film industry, and they're not faking it. Like they love it, right? I'm all for that. That's feeding your neurons. You're into it. But then there's the ones that are not that into it, but they're doing it as a job. And the thing
that's feeding your neurons.
There's spikes.
Okay.
But the thing that people, because it's so normalized, people are not paying attention to the emotional and the mental effects of doing that. I know women that are saying like they're not sexually attracted to their boyfriends anymore and that they're bored with sex with their partners because they're overly stimulated creating the content for that site. And it's like there's just so much more that it goes into it. Then you have social media. Like I said earlier, if you have that many followers and you're treating it as a job, your phone is always right here. You always have to pay attention to it. It's not just like, is it exhausting, but it's addictive. Now your base is worth how many followers you have and how much engagement you have on an app. There's so many mental factors that it's like, this is not logical. I get how it happened. It makes sense that it happened. It's not a stable environment.
Fair. All right. Let's speculate for a minute. All right. Now, I saw. Okay, just going by what we saw now. This is what I see. I see a hot chick that has all the options for herself, but somehow she wants more attention from the man that she already have. Like, he's yours. So why go through all that just to get in your emotions to that degree? That's the part I don't get.
But because when, like, if you don't, like, the whole thing that I ranted about earlier, if you are not in control of your emotions and you allow your emotions to control you, there is no telling what happens to you in life. Someone could take severe advantage of you, or you could pop off and see red, not be in control of what you do. That's what the latter sounds like what happened.
All right. Now, would it be fair that he was aware of those signs and then just said, you know what, I'm just going to choose to ignore it?
If a person is in that environment, do you think that they are mentally stable too?
That's fair too. Shout out to Amber Turd and Johnny Depp.
Yeah, bro. Same concoction.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, like, you like
That's fair. And just to add some caveat to that, you don't have to necessarily be a hot chick. This is just for the viewers. You don't have to be a hot chick. You don't have to be a hot dude. It just generally, if you're that type of guy or you just that type of woman, whether you're emotionally invested, maybe that could have been her, or you're financially invested, that was him, and decide to not let go of a situation. I don't know who God Grace is. I don't know either.
Weird.
Yeah, we just mentioned Illuminati not the other day ago, so I was like,
That was really strange.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to show that.
No, you're good. Hey, shout out to you, Corey. You're making a live stream tonight. Hey, yeah, man, I appreciate you, man. This is yeah, he's a good dude. You know, he's pretty much I came across him through Black Men Unfiltered, but I really came cross paths with him. You know, I went out to another Divestors stream, had a good conversation with her, and I saw him right behind me. So we had like a little laughs and chuckles about it. So really good dude. Shout out to you, Zone, because I feel like I need to get my shout outs out because I know I came late and I appreciate Mika for holding down her end. So shout out to you, Corey. Definitely shout out to you, Zone. Best troll, man. Until you get it. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, Zone. When Snuggles come, because I see Snuggles all over the streets, man. I don't know, just something about Snuggles. But you still Great Pill Podcast #1 troll, man. Shout out to Tristan. Appreciate you, Tristan. I don't know if you're a new subscriber. If not, definitely hit the subscribe button, ma'am, sir, madam. Hit the bell notifications, get updates. Because Tuesday for the men's panel, we're gonna have a show episode with all men's panel about vetting. Okay, it could be showing men how to vet properly. It could be having our conversations openly, giving our suggestions how women should vet us properly. So the whole topic is going to be about vetting. All right, which actually kind of ties along with the stuff we're saying, because even with the situation with this in the article that tragic happened to this guy and his relationship clearly was toxic, because that's the end of it. He's been deleted. How to vet properly, and then Mika gave her own examples earlier. Hey, I don't quote unquote do the long distance thing. We got to be face to face to actually have that courtship. Primal gave his example too, just like period. I don't do it at all. If we're not in a general area, or if I'm not located to you, that's it. You know, I might have my take on it too, because I have done long distance relationship, but I felt that I vetted well enough in a long distance relationship to say, hey, let's have those conversations. Is if I have a child with this person, like Mika said, would that be a good mother for me? And raise my child properly, even if we split off, you know what I'm saying? Because even past relationships, I mentioned, yeah, exactly. So even my past relationship, I have mentioned here on the live stream before, unexpectedly just came up, because that's how usually conversation goes, that in my past relationship it didn't work out, but I was raising somebody, child that had me lead, it was theirs. The relationship itself wasn't toxic, but me choosing wisely for that woman to be the mother of my child, no, that wasn't the best idea. And then that the outcome was it genetically clean slate, legally clean slate, but the pain was still there. So I had to really, really learn another lesson on vetting properly when it came to that. All right, so that's going to be a good conversation for Tuesday. But back to this. But yeah, so I kind of wish, because it started in April from the article, April of this year, and from what I heard from shout out to Nathan, because we had a little conversation in the back end. They had she pretty much got away with this. Well, she is pretty much her hands is clean with it, so there's no real charges brought against her. Yeah, no real charges brought against her, anything like that. And the article I'm reading now.
You know why?
Why?
It's because she only stabbed him once.
But did you see all that the discord all over the place? That's a lot for just one stabbing.
You're preaching to the choir, but I'm just saying, because of that, it could be considered that it was just self-defense as opposed to an opposition attack.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Man.
Based on just that, like, you could easily be like, it was self-defense. Had she done it even one more time, maybe it would have been more questionable.
I'm a really read up on that real quick. That's a lot. But I want to show this just for the viewers, just on my part of her. All right, so this is just another article, or part of the same one. I apologize, that's the wrong one. All right, shout out to the New York Post. So this is really her. This is her again with her man. So it's like the article, the lawyer said news witnesses have come forward in case, including prior boyfriend, and claimed to try to stab him during a fight. Tried to. Lawyers from Christian's family say the Miami police rushed to judgment when they ruled that Courtney allegedly stabbed him in self-defense. Oh, so it sounds like a lot on that end. The family wants an objective, fair investigation. Has nothing to do to the brother. Again, I'm not gonna say his last name because I would butcher it. Had prior criminal records. All right, I see that narrative going. The family just wants to be treated like anyone else had treated. This is her again. with the dude. Look like they having fun. And according to the social media accounts, going to say seeing a bar just days ago. Social media sensation attorney. Hey, they look at all lovey-dovey. And this is one of her pictures from the Instagram. This is OnlyFans and Instagram. So, fellas, ladies, y'all take your own judgment of that one.
I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm not gonna put no take your own calls on it. Just me personally, I just feel like if you're, and this is me. I get it. Everybody's not a evil person, but I do feel like if you put things out in the air that's like not on a positive level, some kind of force is going to come to you in a way that you're not going to like. That's just how I feel about it. So I encourage people out there just to move a little bit more carefully. You know what I'm saying? On that note, Corey says she's for the streets. I ain't mad at you, Corey. I'm not mad at you, man.
I think she's. I'm just.
I feel
Bro,
like
this is a one and done. I feel like.
Yeah. I feel like I want to play devil's advocate with so bad.
No, you do, but like.
Shout out to Primo. He says having OF is a massive red flag. It's an automatic no for me. Very true. It's an automatic no for me.
Y'all are so.
Huh?
Y'all are so vanilla.
Really?
No, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
All right, cool. Because I was gonna play with you earlier, but I mean, I feel like you hit it, so you triggered my trap card. All right, so let's break that down one layer. Let's just say not OnlyFans, right? Let's say Instagram. So if guys feel like the Instagram thoughts, if you're dressing a certain way and again, it's not me just making it up. You actually said it before in other streams. I am a guarding tool. I look like a guarding tool. Exactly. So how would somebody have to? Would somebody have to? Would you date somebody via Instagram?
Via Instagram? What do you mean?
Like let's say for example, Fresh and Fit saying that's the pretty much number one dating tool in today's society is Instagram. So if a dude hit you up on Instagram, would you date him? Have you dated somebody?
I've gone on one date from Instagram.
Okay. And how'd that go?
We only went on one date.
No clarification, just one date. Did y'all conversate before the date happened? I don't know. I don't know how the DM go. I don't ever date nobody no DMs.
Yeah, one time it did not. I did not like it. Not gonna do it again. No, thank
you. Fair enough. Now, what would you suggest for everybody else out there, men and women, as far as the IG guys?
I will suggest one thing in regards to IG. Mm-hmm. It is fake. Take it with a grain of salt. That's it.
Okay.
It's fake. You like how many dudes on there are in jets or flying private places or all this stuff, and they're hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt or broke or gambling addicts. You've got girls that are posting pictures all around the world, but they're not tagging their sponsor. Like,
see, that's extra information that we wouldn't know about. But then I would say on the other side, then of the fence, like since you said all that's fake, so women that's Insta thoughts, their boobs fake, but their boobs is their boobs. Their BBLs, their Brazilian booties is theirs. Their lips and hair is theirs, but that's mostly fake. But they're still real people. But the image they portray, how will we know that it's not fake? Because you just see nothing but hot chicks on their main Instagram the whole down the stream. So how would a regular Joe will take that person seriously? Because if we're saying Instagram fake, how can I take that person seriously? If they're portraying, it seemed like they're portraying one image. Like I said,
I don't. Well, you're asking the wrong person because I don't date on Instagram.
So you have no friends, no girls talked in the past, like, hey girl, this, that, third, like nothing.
Huh?
So you never had no girlfriends, Instagram friends, no followers, fellow followers, like they dressing up like the hoish ways or the extra sexy ways, the leotards, nothing like that. And nobody's like, hey girl, I went on such and such date this time. I wanted this person.
Oh, 100%. I still get them. It's just I don't go on them.
Okay.
Like I'm straight. You can't meet. Here's the deal with the whole, like I said, I did it one time and that was enough for me to not want to do it again. Because you don't know a person. You can't really have a full-on conversation, especially without being biased if there's stuff there. Like if there's like, oh, yours is real. Okay, but you have like 30 followers. Let's say this.
That's shots fired. So we got more followers. I mean, what?
No, it's actually the opposite, because he doesn't care about followers. He's actually posting genuine content for the people that he does know. So that's a green flag.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So what would be a red flag for the guys out there if they're seeing other chicks on their the Instagram?
If she has more than like a couple thousand followers,
she's for the streets.
No. Why are you so extreme? Damn.
That's how the guys see it.
Well, I was about to explain. You asked me the question. I'm about to answer it, and then you cut me off with your own answer.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Add context.
I missed you.
Missed you too.
It's not that they're for the streets. It's that you're not going to really get a good read on the person based off of their Instagram. That's it.
Okay. I would say the same thing about Facebook, but unfortunately, it starts off with hearts, 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 likes, 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 comments, comments, comments. And then next thing you know, they in your inbox, which is versus with Instagram, it's like they're in your DMs. And then from that point on, it's like, hey, let's swap out numbers. They swap out numbers, or they FaceTime you, saying a little bit like the Instagram. And then once that evolves, like, hey, let's vibe. Now, the only difference is with Instagram is you're going by just a digital imaging. With Facebook, is a little bit more depth. Is people have their family, their friends, their dogs, but they're not even really portraying the actual, if they're in a relationship or not in a relationship. And then once they get all them vibes going, like it's really like a thirst trap on both sides. So now we get the phone numbers, like, oh yeah, you kind of really is like your Facebook page, okay. So, and they get stuck on stupid too. And you're muted.
I'm thinking. Here's the thing. You asked me the question. I'm giving it to you straight. If it's a guy and he has a bunch of flashy photos, a picture of a Porsche or money or cars or planes or private plane jet things, any of that stuff, red flag. That's it.
Okay. That's for the women's. For the fellas.
For the fellas, look at my IG, and if it looks like that, it's a red flag.
Okay. So you're a red flag.
No, I'm one of the people that like it's fake.
Okay.
Let me break it down this way.
Okay, please do. Because I feel like that was a catch-22 right there.
So typically, if you see my IG and you see that, we should pull it. Like, we need to pull this up. Can you pull it up?
Sure.
Okay, there you go. Because that'll be a lot easier to explain.
All right.
Like, and there's a reason why I have it this way, but I'm gonna just tell you anyways, because it doesn't mean, and this is the thing too, this isn't like a freaking solid rule. So I don't want anybody thinking this is the way it is. I have a girlfriend, she's got like 240,000 followers, doesn't hook up with anybody, doesn't sleep around, doesn't even date because she's looking for like actual like love and like wanting to find someone real and kind and generous and all these things, right? So huh?
You said she doesn't, or she do?
She's looking for that. She is not a water hose. She's not easy. She's a really, really good girl and a genuine, God, she's like one of the sweetest people I know. Okay, perfect, right? So things to look for that are red flags. Photo number 2, right? The lingerie photo.
Yes.
Those are called thirst traps, right? That was for my birthday. I was 100% doing a thirst trap,
okay,
right?
So the picture with your mouth open, that's not a thirst trap neither. But just the second picture was.
Right. And I'll get to
Okay.
why that one's not. So first one is a thirst trap, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second one. Second one is okay. Third one. Sorry, third one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I need you to, yeah, there you go. So this is the third one. The reason this is not a thirst trap is because it's not putting a location. It's not saying I'm anywhere fancy. And don't pay attention to the words because I say stupid things that don't make any sense.
Oh, okay. Can't pay attention to that, but we can pay attention to the outfit. Go ahead, go.
I mean, no, we could do that too.
Okay.
So if you can't handle me at my, that's a green flag. Come on. If you can't handle me at my worst, I get it. That shit's wild as fuck. Oh, I love my stuff. Anyways, it's not so the photo that's like funny. So I would consider that a green flag, not a red flag. And the photographer, and there's more. The photographer is a female. It's my girlfriend that took the photo. I'm not tagging an actual photographer for clout. The second part is that the dress is not as water hose-ish, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and the green flag is I'm not putting a location to make everybody know I'm at Liaison, I'm at a fancy place, I'm a superstar. It's just literally, it's not even with the backdrop. It's just in the corner, which is kind of like down to earth, right? Next one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That one, the blue. Red flag. Why? Wearing lingerie as a top?
I thought you were going to give it a green flag because there's little library books over here.
No, because a couple red flags. Number one, that's a lingerie top. If you see a girl and her Instagram has a lingerie that she's wearing out and about, it's probably for the streets.
Okay.
Okay. Number two, it's at Poppy. It's at a club.
Oh, not Poppy Blanco?
Correct.
Oh, okay. All right. God, Poppy. All right. So, any other example? We could just end it.
Don't know. I'm gonna break it down for you guys. Next photo.
And I'm gonna give you the man and niece of it.
The next one with 3 girls.
Okay.
We're just going down them.
Okay.
I'm looking because it's not just. I'm gonna go through each one and give you green flag, red flag.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna tell you the whole. If it looks like this, why it's a red flag.
Okay.
Red flag. Another nightclub, and half my ass is out. Next.
Okay.
And I look like I'm with Mean Girls.
Oh, the Bad Girl Club. All right, what's next?
The next one.
Oh, this one right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Red flag. I was going to say green flag because it's at In-N-Out, which is like a burger joint, but it's a red flag because my butt is through a thong. So again, red flag.
Okay.
Next. Why are you skipping it, bro?
You got to tell me which is which. You just
literally the next photo.
All right.
There you go.
Okay.
Red flag.
All right.
Has a picture of a snake with a mini skirt and heels. Like you're just doing it for clout.
Okay.
Next. You could just hit the arrow that goes right, sir. Red flag. Another nightclub. Skimpy outfit. Mean Girls Club. Next.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry. I did see the arrow. I apologize. Go ahead.
Good. Green flag. Covered up, looking cute, casual, can't tell where it's at, doesn't look like they're going out, doesn't look like they're at a nightclub, but looks like they're still taking care of themselves, but it's not like super high maintenance. Red flag. Half naked again at another nightclub.
Oh, Lord.
And super high maintenance. You see all the glitter and the shine? That was a lot of high maintenance.
Okay.
Green flag. At home, chilling, drinking Martinellis.
Okay.
That's not a thirsty.
No, I'm let you get you explain everything, and I'm gonna explain the men's side of it.
And go back.
Okay, go back. Okay.
That was that's probably the only post that I have about it something being meaningful. Meaning like if you actually read the post, it's about my 11 years sober. And then if you scroll through the photos, that entire post is something meaningful to me of like, these are great times where people either thought I was drunk or something. And I've been able to do whatever I wanted in life still not having to do any drugs or drinking.
Okay.
See how it's like there's an actual like about my personal as opposed to just here's the clout. Next. Red flag. Some fancy mansion. Clearly it's not my house.
Okay.
Next. Red flag. Half naked again. Out in the streets. Next.
For the streets. All right.
Red flag. Another nightclub. Plus wearing a wig. Goddamn, you're fake. Next. Red flag. Obviously staged and posed at the beach. Why are you taking time to do that while you're at the beach? Not down to earth. Next. Red flag. Half naked again.
Okay. Sorry.
Red flag because it's for clout. There's nothing meaningful there. Next. Could be okay because there's no makeup.
Okay.
Next. And clothed. Red flag. Clearly it's probably Vegas and an ass shot. Clout. Next.
Okay.
Kind of okay, but probably
I'm gonna give it green flag because the dog there. I'm just gonna cut you off. Say the dog's there. I like that dog. I like that dog.
But listen. Here's the thing. What is she wearing?
Your dog is a girl?
No, me.
Okay, all right. Okay.
Leopard print boots and that's like a tiny top. Are you walking your dog? Where are you going? What is happening here? It's clout. Next.
Okay.
This could be a green flag.
Okay.
Because it's just a pretty flower and it's like artsy fartsy, but it's nothing like sexy or like, look at me. Next. Another club. Red flag. Next.
Okay.
Half naked. Could be a green flag because it's about work.
Okay.
This does not necessarily have to be a red flag, although it is at a nightclub. It's not very clout chasey because red flag.
For the win. Next.
Red flag. Tits are out. Clout chasing.
Okay. All right. So we got a good. I feel like we got a good representation of what you're explaining in depth of green red flag. Can I give you the Manonese version when men see this? What they think?
Whole thing. Clout chaser. Sugar baby. Hoe. Garden hose.
Yeah. So that's pretty much the point I'm trying, not to you, but just to
no, this is educational.
Exactly. For the viewers out there. So when, for ladies, if you see if you have these type of pictures up here, don't get mad when a guy's gonna thank you for the streets. And I will, and this is me because I know
pull up poppies.
No, I can't do that to Poppy. Permission. I know Poppy don't care. I gotta have him verbally say it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna do that to Poppy like that. He gotta verbally give the okay. But I will say this. I appreciate you for being a good sport. Just give an example for the viewers out there. But I will say this one when you said the 2 was the green flags. And again, this is what guys see.
Oh, red flag. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I forgot it. I forgot it started with that. My bad.
Okay. And then the second picture right here, I'm not gonna go through pictures, but again, this is what guys see. Guys that goes on Instagram, they don't go through all the commentary that you gave. They look at the picture, they see this. If as a woman doing the extra detail explaining, it's already out the fucking door. This looked like a casual picture, and she's with the girlfriends, whatever, like you explained earlier. Like I'll say, what's the casual one? To me, this was casual. With the homegirls.
Yeah, that's why
that picture, that was casual. But when the dude scrolled there,
yeah, I know.
It's like, oh my God. Then it goes from there. So
yeah,
that's pretty much how it goes from there. Let me get my little ugly mug in here. Us guys, we're not doing anything. Look at us, fellas. For the street.
That's because you're a green flag. Your whole thing is a green flag. Mine is a red flag. Yours is a green flag.
Yeah, all just doing my little thing. I'm out eating food.
And here's the bottom line is like when people are showing their actual personality, not just I'm a party animal, and they're like I can already tell from, because I've already looked at your IG several times, the things that are important to you, inequality, injustice, the Great Pill podcast, doing good in the world, helping others. You like to eat clean, but you also like good food. You like to work out. You're responsible. Same thing with Primal. It's the same thing. Well, Balance likes to work out, loves animals. These are green flags because they're of actual interest. There's an actual personality to show there.
Zone said I'm a red flag. I'm mad at you, Zone.
I love you, Zone.
Okay.
I love him. He goes, red flag, boob. That's what I said.
Zone's like an equal opportunity employer. I ain't mad at it. He's like, I'm getting.
I love how this is literally how I'm saying, and he's just repeating it. Red flag, green flag, red flag, red flag, boob.
No, but I appreciate that. This is actually fun. Anybody who actually caught I think the first 3 original videos, it was just us shooting shit and have a good conversation. So this was fun.
And you know what's really, I will say this, and this is what's really funny about me in particular, is that like you see that whole ass red flag does not depict, nor does it represent me at all. Because, and this is what people, there's 2 parts of this. One is I have a clothing line that's going to be coming out. So all of the items that are on my Instagram are items that I'm going to be selling on my website.
Yeah, but those type of men don't that can't correlate those two, and that's the crazy part. Like,
no, I don't even care about that. I'm just
it's not about you. Yeah, it's general. That's why I was trying to bring it up. Yeah.
I'm not I'm explaining it to people in the chat because these are my real people and they deserve to actually know me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how my brain works. But everybody else on IG, nah.
Facts, Corey. Facts.
Hiring an investigator before I start. Well, actually, there's a way that you can do things. This is the way if I have somebody's phone number, I don't just go onto their social media. I will go and search their phone number on apps like Spokeo and get their full name and previous addresses, look them up and cross-reference them on social media platforms. And you will get to know if they're married. It's easier to find if they're married or if they're married or if they're living with someone. You'll be able to, it'll be a lot easier to see if they're in a relationship, basically.
That's a good component, especially I took a note of that too. So that can be added to the arsenal of vetting. But for me, just for the long distance, like even stuff we do, it's like when we say digital footprint, stuff add up, I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. But that's pretty much and I'll just end up with this and we'll close out. I feel like those type of red flags, that could have been a point with this gentleman, and he just fell in love and he just went for beauty over brains, or he took beauty over quality over quantity, so to speak. So I think that was the issue here with them. Unfortunately, he had to lose his life over some extreme stuff going on. But yeah, we'll definitely dive in that. That's this Tuesday. The men panel will be 6 p.m. Central Time because the men on our end, we're already spoke to the guys. We're cool with the flexibility of the time for that Tuesday. Minka gave the okay for that. That's the other half, so you can't have one without the other. And then once we're done, we're pretty much go jump over there to Black Panther Filter for Tuesday and see what he got. I think he calls Talk That Talk Tuesday. So I think I'm gonna call Man Primal and Black Panther Filter was playing by the name. So I think we're gonna call it the men's lounge or the gentleman's lounge or something like that for Tuesday. So that'll be the all guys panel for there. So any last thoughts for you? Well, I'll go with last thoughts. Again, appreciate everybody for coming in. Hit the subscribe button, hit the likes notification. What's your thoughts and comments on the examples of thirst trapping at its finest? Red flags, green flags, what Mika said earlier. I might clip that for an example too, because that was pretty handy. That was pretty educational for people. And I saw a bot. I got you. I see a bot. Thank you, Vaughn. Thank you, Primal. It's one of y'all. All right. So final thoughts for you, Mika?
That's why I was saying it that way, because I wanted to make sure that it's easier to just point out the red flags instead of like, if she has this. Here's the deal. Like I said it earlier, and that's why I share my journey, because I have had to go through this long process of really getting to know myself. loving myself while loving others, having a balance, showing up for myself, getting my money right, getting my self-esteem right, getting all these things right so that I could be a better partner and so that I can find a better partner. Because if I am not a good enough partner for someone, I'm not ready to be in a relationship, I'm going to dismiss all those red flags and be like, but he's so amazing. And then he's going to end up beating me and I'm going to stab him. And unlife him.
On that note, welcome to the Great Pill Podcast.